Myself singing that song we used to sing when we were kids. I wake up in the morning, I wash my face, I brush my teeth, I take a cup of tea, I run to school, I run to work. We run to wherever we're going this morning. Once again, good morning. How are you doing? Karibuni sana. Welcome to a Woman Crush Wednesday Rise Today. I am your host, Kama Kawaida, Nina Gikunda. Thank you so very much for joining us. I do hope you're doing well. Umiamkaje. How has your week been this far up until this very beautiful day? The weather outside is looking a little bit beautiful today. The sun is here to bless our day. How are you though? How are you doing? How has your week been? How are you feeling? Yesterday we had a very interesting debate by our incumbent deputy presidents. And how did you feel about that debate? Talk to us. Our social media platforms are at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and KUTV Kenya on Instagram. You could also stream on Facebook if you are on your way to work, leaving your house, and you wanna tune in and continue with the show. Our show is live streaming on our Facebook page at KUTV Kenya, and if you do not have the time to sit and watch up until the end of the show, you can always catch this show, have a recap on our YouTube channel at KUTV Kenya. Thank you so much once again for joining us. As per usual, we normally have some amazing conversations lined up just for you. To all my book lovers, imagine walking to your local bookstore, and upon getting into the door, the first book you see is titled Marriage is a Scam. And right next to it is a book titled Love the Original You. Wouldn't that be interesting? Very interesting. Today I have an author. She wears many hats. She'll be coming to tell us about herself. Goes by the name Maria Nyambane. So stay tuned. We also have a team that goes by the name Respect. Respect do a remarkable job by educating teenagers, especially in high schools, about sexual and reproductive health and rights. We have so much lined up for you, but right before we get into today's conversation, I will be coming back with traffic updates and the COVID updates. What are the roads around you looking like? We get our traffic updates from Mathri Route on Twitter, at Mathri Route on Twitter. If you have any information to share with each and everyone out there, or if you have any useful information to share with the public in regards to what the roads look like where you are, help a friend to help a friend. So do tag at Mathri Route on Twitter, and also at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. Eastern Bypass looks a little bit tricky. Apparently there's a lorry Southern Bypass. There's a lorry that has blocked 2 lanes on Southern Bypass near Kibra. So if you use that road oftenly when you're going to work or wherever you're going in the morning, be sure to find a little bit of traffic, or rather some delays on that end of the road. Thika Road is moving a little bit swiftly, more than usual. So if you're on Thika Road, do give us an update on how things are going wherever you are. Eastern Bypass, just like we premonitioned, impending disasters at Ngong Road. So be careful if you are approaching, if you're going to Ngong Road using the Eastern Bypass. It's a little bit tricky on that end. If you have any information in regards to what the roads look like, Thika Road, Ngong Road, Mombasa Road, Waiyaki Way, let us know what it looks like, whether it's on the expressway, whether it's on the Kawaida Road. Be sure to let us know at Mathri Route on Twitter and at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. Fill us in, help a friend to help a friend. We'll see how we help each other navigate through the day on our Kenyan roads. I will be coming back with the COVID updates. Welcome back. In regards to COVID, I urge everyone to keep washing your hands, sanitize, maintain social distance, in as much as it's a little bit tricky now considering that we are in that campaign period with less than 24 days to the election. So take care of yourself, avoid crowded spaces, wash your hands. If you never got vaccinated, please make sure you get vaccinated, and if you did, get a booster for your vaccination. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, grateful for you joining my show this morning. I spoke about our guests this morning. Today we have a team that goes by the name Respect. Respect work from high school to high school, educating teenagers about sexual and reproductive health and rights. Here they teach them how to take care of themselves during that time of the month to the young girls. They teach the boys how to take care of the girls when it's that time of the month, how delicate the girls are, the risks of not taking care of yourself during that time of the month, how you could get pregnant, how you could acquire STIs and STDs. They take them through that entire process, and considering the fact that these young teenagers are mostly not in a good position to easily acquire or get to this kind of information, it is quite amazing what they do. We will be having Kelvin Thiga and Cinnamon Nyagaka here to talk to us and take us through the journey of how they started, how they've been doing, their progress this far, and how they feel they have helped these teenagers, and even educating them on teenage pregnancies, how to avoid it, and if you're in the situation, if you are in the situation already, how to navigate around it. It's very beautiful, so stay tuned as we listen in to what they have prepared for us. I also have Maria Nyambane, like I said earlier. She has a very interesting line of books. Walking into a bookstore and the first book you see is Marriage is a Scam. Why is marriage a scam? Why would marriage be a scam? What is this that she's seen or experienced or even had for her to, call marriage a scam? She also has a book called Love the Original You. Very interesting books. Love to know what has inspired her, what has taken her through all this. But before we get into it, once again, I will be coming back with the news updates. And into our news updates for today, we look at unga. Has the unga prices really fallen? Kenyans can now comfortably put the staple food on their tables as a 2 kg packet of maize flour now set to retail at 100 shillings. The internal communication document in the Ministry of Agriculture, signed by the Agriculture Principal Secretary Francis Owino, stated that the ministry shall subsidize the production and sale prices for maize meal for a period of 4 weeks.
2 kilogram packet maize flour prices as from today will retail at 100 Kenya shillings from 230 Kenya shillings. This has come as a relief to consumers who have been managing escalated maize meal costs, fortified by the high cost of living that has affected other households' essentials such as cooking oil, wheat and maize flour, sugar, milk, bread and tissue papers. According to an internal memo in the Ministry of Agriculture, signed earlier today by the Prince of Agriculture Francis Owino, the ministry shall subsidize the production and sale prices of the maize flour for a period of 4 weeks. The document also adds that apart from the 2 kilogram prices, the 5 kg will retail at 250 and 10 kilograms at 490 Kenya shillings. The document states that representatives from the ministry will be posted to the different millers to confirm the sale of the maize flour into the market. A section of the Kenya Kwanza politicians have claimed the immediate drop attacked to coax the electorate before the polls, with Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wah and ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi saying it will be better if the government dropped prices for other essentials like fuel and rice.
Shukisha hata bei ya mafuta, shukisha bei ya mchele, shukisha mpaka ya chumvi na ya petroli, sababu tunajua mpango wenyu ulikuwa ni kupandisha bei ya unga, muhonge watu na unga ya relief ya serikali.
Hawajashukisha bei ya mafuta ya kupika, hawajashukisha bei ya petroli, hawajashukisha bei ya sukari. Alafu wanasema wanataka washukishe bei ya unga kwa mwezi mmoja.
The cost of living has been on a constant incline, contribute to an increase in the fuel cost and subsequently food prices. The drop in maize flour prices is a relevant move, with ugali being a staple food to most households in the country. Nyambura Kabura, KUTV.
Still in matters unga, what are your thoughts as a kawaida Kenyan in regards to, the subsidy from, it's over 50% drop. What are your thoughts? How long do you think it will take for this price to actually hit the market? And if it already has, do let us know if you have gotten the unga for 100 shillings and where you're getting it from as well. Share with us at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and KUTV Kenya on Instagram. Still matters agriculture. Dairy farmers are being encouraged to invest in the forage-based dairy production system. It cuts down the cost of production. The Director General of KALRO, Eliud Kirager, noted that animal feeds are becoming expensive and many dairy farmers have been forced to either downsize or close down their dairy business venture.
Inadequate feed has always been a constraint to dairy cattle on smallholder farms, notwithstanding also the weather and climate, which also affects the abundance and quality of feed, translating to quantity and quality of milk produced. The government, through the Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Organization, has been working with farmers to increase dairy productivity through use of improved forages. According to KALRO Director General Eliud Kirager, Kenya is quite advanced in dairy farming, but there are still some challenges that hinder production.
Over 80% of the farmers, the dairy farmers, are small scale, operating on 2 acres or less. So the model we are showing today to the farmers is how to manage a small dairy farm using available or pasture-based feeding. Because as you are aware, feed for livestock is very expensive.
Animal feeds are becoming expensive, and many dairy farmers have also been forced to either downsize or close down their dairy business venture.
Under this project, we are working with the Irish government, who has supported us in this project with several other partners. We have done research to try and develop livestock systems and livestock breeds that are able to use minimum feed, available feed, and produce enough milk to be able to make business.
William Ayako, a research scientist from KALRO, has emphasized on breeds that are economical and have the economical breeding effect, especially for the small-scale farmers.
Farmers tend to think that a cow that produces 50 liters per day is the best cow. That cow requires a lot of feed, especially on concentrate. And that is why we are emphasizing that on the breeds we have here, we are trying to come up with those breeds that are economical. Economic breeding index is a cow that is cheap for a farmer to keep by producing milk from forage-based.
Nakuru County farmers have testified the benefits from the project as the 3 sub-counties in which the program was piloted, that is Rongai, Kuresoi North and Kuresoi South, farmers are practicing fodder-based system intervention.
Currently, we are doing about over 350 million liters of milk per day, per year as a county. Because most of our farmers, let me say, we have developed the systems of the feeding systems.
Dairy farming is the single largest subsector in Kenya's agriculture, accounting for 6 to 8% of the country's GDP, but is characterized by low input and low yield systems, which produce much less than the national herd potential of 4 to 8 liters a day. Kanana Kithinji, KUTV.
Moving on, she has been a self-employed poultry farmer since 2003. After quitting her former job, she has never regretted her decision because the business pays well just from the comfort of her home. Beatrice, who is from Gitaru region, Kiambu County, feeds over 500 layers and broilers. Listen in.
Beatrice Njogu is a poultry farmer keeping chicken for both layers and broilers in Gitaru region, Kiambu County. She embraces the open poultry method, where she does not use cages for her chickens due to experience of the high cost of cages before. Previously, she was employed as a cattle farmer before her self-employment business.
Wakati nilikuwa nimeanza mambo ya farming, nilianza na ng'ombe. Sasa nikakuwa challenged sana na ng'ombe kwa maana vijana wanawacha kazi, wanakuacha. Nikaona hii mambo ya kukata nyasi kutafuta majani na tuko kwa plots inanisugua. Sasa ndio decide nikuje kwa poultry. Na uzuri wa poultry mimi mwenyewe hata nikikosa mtu najifanyia.
She started her poultry farming business in the year 2003 after quitting her former employment with the aim of being self-reliant. Normally, a chick costs her approximately 150 Kenya shillings, where she feeds the chick up to the right time they start laying eggs or being sold for meat.
Tunanunua one day old chick. Kwa hivyo one day old chick at the moment tunanunua 130 per piece. Na unaanza kuwalea since that time mpaka iwe kuku mkubwa. Tunapea moto ikiwa dogo ndio wapate feathers, vaccine. Process ndio kuku iwe kubwa.
Annually, Njogu sells all her chicken to chicken meat joints to help her accommodate more chicken to lay eggs and sell for meat. Her main aim is to get eggs and meat for sale from the chicken.
Hii ni mayai, sana sana ni mayai, lakini wakizeeka tunawauza nyama. Lakini ni after 1 year, 1.5 year. Yani mwaka moja na nusu hivi ama mwaka moja na 2 months. Lakini sana sana hii ni mayai tu. Na uzuri wa mayai hiyo ni market lead. Kuna wakati utakosa pahali pa kupeleka mayai. Si kama broilers, saa zingine una order pahali na imefika. Lakini uzuri wa mayai hata hapa kwa duka tutapeleka. Hata ukiwa na shida ya pesa utauza tu na upate pesa. Na market pia ya mayai iko juu sana.
Hard work pays. From the layers, Beatrice receives 500 eggs daily and sells to her customers, while others collect booked egg trays at home or even to buy a chicken.
Niko na kuku 500 zile zinataga na hizi bado ziko karibu sana, maybe from next week. Hizo 500 natoa at least 15 trays per day. So 15 trays per day, that is about 450 pieces per day. And that is almost 80% or 95%. No, about 90% of laying.
Farmers in Kenya have been largely affected by the economy, especially after the corona pandemic and the political war between Ukraine and Russia, which has led to high cost of living. But what are some of the challenges Njogu faces?
Kuna changamoto kwa maana saa zingine feeds huwa wanatu let down. Saa zingine the quality ya feeds sio mzuri. Sasa quality ikikosa kuwa mzuri, kuku hawezi taka mzuri. Sasa saa zingine tunakuwa na hizo challenges, ama saa zingine kuku ziko na shida. Tena kwa wakati wa baridi haitagi vizuri. Although hiyo inakuwaga on and off.
Beatrice Njogu loves her work because she depends on it economically to cater for her daily needs. She also adds that the joy that revolves around seeing her chicken roam around her compound is unmeasured and comforting. Nyambura Kabura, KUTV.
Moving on, a land use management system of growing trees together with crops is said to be beneficial to the young farmers in the country. Participatory Land Use Management Association, PELAM, has given a clarion call to the farmers to embrace agroforestry, weighing into its benefits.
Amidst the tough economic times and food scarcity, farmers are challenged to adapt agroforestry in the farms. Having a natural comfort of good air condition is something we all need. Kennedy Ngoma's farm is modeled on agroforestry with grown trees, a banana plantation, maize fields, and fruit trees. The agroforestry farmer, being a beneficiary of a project that brings together tens of thousands smallholder farmers in arid and semi-arid parts, has discouraged the growing of soil water depleting trees like eucalyptus.
Kwa sababu ile majani ya miti, wakati yenye nimekata miti ama ngoa miti ama nimefanya pruning, hiyo majani naweka kwa compost, natengeneza manyiwa, hiyo manyiwa naweka kwa shamba ya mahindi, shamba ya mboga.
According to the program officer, Miss Mary Irungu, agroforestry has been well known in many traditional contexts since a very long time. She advised county governments to channel more investments and resources in agroforestry.
Among the benefits of agroforestry is on soil fertility management, increased food security among smallholder farmers. Agroforestry is also a source of timber, a source of fuel in terms of wood fuel for smallholder farmers.
A 67-year-old farmer, Florence Okumu, recounted on how she has benefited from the farming system and continues to train other farmers on integrated farming in the program fronted by PELAM Kenya and via agroforestry.
Niambia wamama wengine mahali popote waliko waamue wajiunge na shirika hata kimaeti kwetu hapa karibuni, waingie na tufanye pamoja. Watapata masomo na tena watapata miti ya kupanda. Hawatakuwa na shida ya hali ya hewa kwa sababu hapo zamani sisi.
Agroforestry could be the game changer in the agricultural sector. The farmers are urged to grow trees that naturally captures carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, reducing pressure on natural forests by providing a stable source of local wood that generates long-term income. Imaset Stacy for KUTV.
As we continue with our news updates, we are going for a short break. Do not touch that dial.
Hello graduates, I'm Ngongo Stephen Omondi and I'm going to demonstrate to you how to put on your academic attire. We have the gown, secondly, we have the hood. Make sure the hood has the appropriate color for your discipline. Make sure the hood forms a V on the chest and a pocket at the back. Button it up to secure it into position. Last, we have the cap. When going to the graduation ceremony, make sure your tassel is on the left. Then after being conferred by the Chancellor, turn your tassel to the right.
Technology has infiltrated many sectors, one of them being medicine. With me is Daniel Kimani, the CEO and founder of Hospital that connects healthcare providers with the underserved in the society.
So if you look at the hospital at current state is, we can say we are just starting at what we have in mind. We are building a virtual hospital for doctors. We are trying to bring that physical hospital to the doctor side, like the moment doctor enter a hospital, the moment they leave. We give you a chance to upload the report to our platform, then assign it to a doctor. We give you the capability of personalizing a doctor. I want to be getting ex-doctor for the rest of my services.
Things you know are right. Nothing worth the gain you attain by sudden flip. Don't you know that I still care for you? We flip-flop, got me needing more and more of you. Gonna be the one to catch you.
Far East, welcome to the empire. Far East, because we find true love. You will see what your love is done for.
Huu ni mradi wa Lower Kuja Irrigation Scheme ambapo wanafanya upanzi wa mpunga. Utasema kwa lugha ya kawaida mchele, lakini mchele ni wakati ushavuna.
Kuna zingine zinaenda mpaka 60 days, alafu inaanza kuzaa. Ile mpunga sasa inaweza ona mpunga yenyewe sasa. Ama zingine zinaenda mpaka 90 days ndio inaweza kuzaa.
Much for joining us up until this far. We are continuing with the news and into matters, politics and chasing our dreams. We are in the election season, and as many come out to seek a chance to serve the public, the youth are also seeking their share. Stanley Nyaringita dug into Kahawa area and came with the following report of a young Turk eager and ready to lurk in the political arena.
In the 21st century, a new crop of young leaders have emerged in Kenya, each with new ideologies and a whole new energy. They're sharing their voices with conviction, rolling up people by the hundreds of thousands and demanding change from the government. This is Kahawa Sukari, a suburb and civic ward in Ruiru Sub-County, Kiambu County. Kenyatta University is close by, and most students from the institution reside in Kahawa Sukari. The ward, which borders Kahawa Gwendani, is strategically adjacent to Thika Superhighway. Here, I meet one leader boiling up with such energy for leadership, Kezia Mumbi, or as famously known, Mumbi wa Samosa.
I'm a samosa sales lady. I sell samosas. I'm a mobile hotel, what people like to refer to as a hawker. I hawk samosas around Kahawa Sukari. These are my people and they know me very well. I've done the samosa business for 1 year and about 3 months, 1.3 years. And it's been tough, but we are still pushing on. Before I forget, I'm also saved and I love that. I acknowledge God in everything I say.
Since her early stages of life, leadership has always been close to her heart, and over the years, she is still actualizing the dream, a decision that her parents were initially skeptical about.
Walikuwa wewe mtoto ni nini umekosa? Ni nini hatujatupatia unakuja kutuaibisha hapa kukua hoka? But they came to terms with it. Remember I gave you the story of my samosas, how it came up. Do you remember the story? I used the power of my knees. When your knees are too far from the ground, your crown will fall from your head.
She is young, she is bold, and most definitely she is an inborn leader. But what are her dreams and aspirations?
I was thinking, this is my idea. We can have, instead of having very many companies manning Kahawa Sukari, why don't we have one? And that one has this gadget that they communicate. Wewe ukiona, by the way unajua, wewe ukiona polisi, unaonanga mtu moja. Ni kweli. But those people are hundreds and hundreds of policemen because of that one gadget. Ukifanyia mtu polisi moja aiwashe hivi, aseme sergeant, wako wengi sana wanasikia.
Juggling the balls of leadership, business and studies is a hustle Mumbi chooses. She is on the school of thought that the youth should embrace self-employment to cater for their basic needs.
Youth empowerment, I'm assuming maybe if, just an example that let me come up with it right now. Maybe we can, lease a land like this and we can put containers, youth employ their fellow youths. I'm assuming people who planted flowers here in Kahawa Sukari, they go and buy them from Bypass. What if we planted them here? Would our parents go and promote people from Bypass and their own people are doing this now?
Una buying kg?
I buy 2 kgs.
Mumbi is aspiring to be a member of the County Assembly in Kahawa Sukari Ward. But before we go there, let's break down who an MCA is and the functions they have. A member of the County Assembly, MCA in Kenya, is an elected representative who is in charge of an electorate unit known as a ward. He or she is mandated to maintain close contact with the electorate, present views, opinions and proposals of electorate to the County Assembly, attend sessions of County Assembly and its committees, among other functions. During the 2017 general elections, Kahawa Sukari had a record of 10,458 registered voters, while in the recent IEBC voters registration drive, only 299 new voters have registered. What is her take on that?
Choka. Wase wamechoka na wamechoka kubeba ufala. Wacha tuiseme venye iko. Watu wamechoka kubebwa. Cause mnatuambia, na wacha nikwambie, if we keep recycling these people, history will keep repeating itself. Unatoka unachia beste yako. Birds of the same feather flock together. Sasa watatuonyesha venye they have grudges against each other, nini, hakuna grudge.
A young, vibrant leader seems to be what the residents here are looking for.
Okay, first of all, because of where I am, malimenipata, the biggest challenge yuko hapa, kukinyesha, sewage in overflow. So if there's something Mumbi or anyone can do about that, inaweza kuwa of big help to.
Mumbi nimemjua muda kubwa, sababu ni wa huku Sukari, na sisi tunakaa hii Sukari hata tuko na miaka zaidi ya 10 tukifua huku. Kwa hivyo akiwa mtoto tunamuona.
No, he's young at her age. He's someone who can do big things, by the way, as a youth. So I advised her. I told her, just go ahead. Yeah, she's very ambitious, aggressive. Yeah.
She is determined. She is a youth. I know she will empower us youth. I know she will have an ear and that she will listen to us like youth. And also, you would like someone who is approachable. That I can approach her, I can get her easily.
But what if she does not get to that seat? Will this be the end of her buzzing hope of leadership?
Whether I am in or out, I'm still a leader. What happens if I don't win? It'll hurt.
Yes, it will. Of course, everyone wants to win. My competitor wants to win, but hakuna vita. Like I said, leadership comes from God. Whoever gets it, we bless them and we release them. Wacha watufanyie kazi. Yangu ikifika, even the heavens will open the gates for me, and I believe it is now.
Journalists, I have not gone for one or two, or I've gone.
With the political climate in the country intensifying day by day, the youth are now a huge decision maker. But the main question is, will they use their voice as they should? Stanley Nyaringita, KUTV, Nairobi.
Let's get into the deputy presidential debate that happened yesterday. The deputy presidential debate held at the Catholic University of East Africa. 4 candidates are battling it out for the deputy presidential slot. Agano Party's Ruth Mutua face off with Ruth's Party's Justina Wamai candidates gunning for the second most powerful seat in Kenya. Azimio's Martha Karua faces off with Kenya Kwanza's Rigathi Gachagua. Debate organizers, Media Owners of Kenya, Media Council of Kenya, and the Kenya Editors Guild listen into what Agano Party's Ruth Mutua face off with Ruth Party's Justina Wamai had to say when asked why they should be the deputy president, how to utilize the deputy presidential role, Roots Party, marijuana, chapter 6, and corruption cost of living closing remarks.
The Republic of Kenya.
Thank you very much, Kashori and Zubeida, and thank you everyone who is here. We appreciate. Justina Wamai is emotionally intelligent, she's vibrant, she's someone who looks into the future. And given the fact that I was born in Kibera and I am where I am today, I feel I've achieved, which is encouragement to anyone at home. In 2013 and 2017, I must say I was a consumer of this production. I was at home watching, but today I'm part of the production. So I feel very humbled, and given that I understand the role of a DP, that you deputize the president in all execution of his duties, I am ready for it. My educational background in procurement, having a master's in procurement, links with the public service. We are out to run an efficient government, a government that looks into how we are managing our money. So that gives me the upper hand. And again, being 35 years a youth, I can resonate with the challenges the youth are facing. Besides, I had ran for Mavoko in 2017, member of National Assembly. And many people were asking why the member of National Assembly. My drive then was to go into National Assembly and formulate and sponsor bills that are youth responsive. So when I speak here, I know the plight of the youth, I know the plight of the women, and my focus is telling the Kenyans the truth, that it is not easy, but you are going to make it. The future is beautiful for Kenya, and that is what Roots Party stands for.
Naam, shukran sana Bi Justina. Bi Ruth, una muda wa dakika 2 kuanzia sasa kutueleza mbona unatosha kuwa makamu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Asante sana Zubeda. Nashukuru the media council that you have given us the chance to sell our manifesto and tell the Kenyans what we have for you. I am Ruth Wamboi Musheru. I am a daughter. I am a wife to one Mr. Mutua. I am a mother, and I'm here before you to tell you what Agano is coming to change, and the required change that all Kenyans have been waiting for, and to ensure that whatever you desire and whatever you want to achieve, Agano gives you. And what our policy is that we bring the money back. Agano inarudisha pesa ya Wakenya.
In the Constitution, the role of Deputy President is outlined in Article 147. The first sub-article says that you're to deputize the President and in the execution of his duties. I understand this because currently we're having challenges, and maybe it's because of the aspect that politics in this country has taken. Politics is about numbers, they say. Politics is about tribal inclination and who has the tyranny of numbers. But our idea as Roots Party is that every Kenyan is having the challenge of unemployment, high cost of living. So we are here to speak to an individual Kenyan, devoid of tribe. And when I stand here, how am I going to execute? My work is not to start fighting my boss and telling him, I brought this in, I am better than you in this. No, my role is to support the Roots Party manifesto, which, by the way, it focuses on economic upswing, which we shall discuss, and legalizing and regulation of marijuana, which we shall also discuss in length. So I understand my role well, and for me, I do know that there's a president who is the supreme, and then I come in as a support system.
Madam Ruth, similar 2 minutes to respond to this question. Your understanding of the role of Deputy President,
Yes.
and how would you execute that function of Deputy President if elected in about 20 days?
We know that Deputy President is the second highest political seat. So my business is to assist the President. My business is to sit in while the President goes out on duty. My business is to ensure that this country runs as long as the President has given me the mandate to do so. So Kenyans will not have the gap. And for me to have been picked as the lady of Agano Party, I am coming in to bring a balance. I am coming in to bring a change and decision making on the woman level and the youth level.
Bado una kidogo, samahani, una dakika moja unusu, bado na dakika 20, sekunde 20, bado una la kuongeza au umekamilisha?
Makamu wa rais huwa anasaidia rais mwenyewe, huwa anasaidia kutekeleza majibu ile, the work that has been given to her in the presidential aspect. So my business is to assist. My business is to play the part of assisting and implementing what the captain and the 5th Mwaure David has stipulated.
Na hapo basi ndo nitaingia. Justina amesema kazi ya makamu wa rais ni kusaidia. Je, mnakuja kusaidia tu? Mna mawazo? Ni watu ambao mnaweza kushauri, au mmechaguliwa kwa sababu nyinyi ni wanawake? Wewe binafsi umechaguliwa kwa sababu wewe ni mwanamke, au ni kwa sababu una uwezo?
Kwanza hilo swali la kuwa wanawake, Ruth and I are assuring Kenyans, hakuna catfight hapa, si ndio?
Hakuna.
We are going to share and execute what Roots Party requires. We are just not only supporting. The Deputy President has a role in giving their voice. And my role there is to amplify the youth voice, to amplify the women voice, because as it is where we are, I am happy because in leadership we have women in leadership, but we need more. So our role is to put in that the women also can add value. We are here to represent, or I'm here to represent the Kenyan woman in the kitchen who knows the high cost of cooking oil. It's affecting her. I'm here to represent the women who fuel their own cars. I'm here to represent the stay-at-home women who, when you tell your husband to give you money, he starts thinking you're not spending the money well. Yet it is the economy that has deteriorated. There's so much inflation. So it is not just to support. That is part of it. Part of it is to amplify our agenda as women, who we have been left behind for a very long time in this development agenda. So kusupport na kuweka sauti zetu kama mimi, kama wanawake na kama vijana.
Madam Ruth, what is your voice then? What, arguably in the political sphere, somebody would ask you, what do you bring to the table? So what do you bring to the table in terms of capacity, in terms of the understanding of this role, in terms of your ability to execute the functions of Deputy President, if Kenyans give you the nod in about 20 days in this election?
Okay, what I'm bringing in, one is the difference in leadership, that now, for the first time, to make history, is that we will have a lady deputy president. That for me is a key factor. I am coming in with intelligence, with my intelligence. I am coming in corruption-free. I'm coming in as a trustworthy person. I'm coming in to bring the development agenda that has been left out of the woman and the youth.
Na Bi Justina, inakutia wasiwasi kwamba kwa upande mmoja mnaonekana ni kama kidogo kama Roots Party mnakuja kukiuka maadili, unaogopa kwamba hiyo inamweka kidedea Bi Ruth katika kinyang'anyiro hiki, kwamba unaonekana nyinyi mnakuja kuharibu, yeye inamweka kidedea katika kuvutia kura zaidi, inakutia wasiwasi?
Sina wasiwasi, kwa sababu Wakenya mahali wamefika. Mkenya amefinyika because ya uchumi umezorota. Idea zetu ni za kusaidia Wakenya. Kwa hivyo sina uoga wowote, niko hapa nitajibu maswali yote, because my role nilipoingia nilisema ni ku destigmatize manifesto ya Roots Party. Hata Ruth kabla anipige tukue na malumbano, ningependa asikize vizuri, ndio akiniuliza swali we be from a point of her understanding. Kwa hivyo sina uoga wowote.
Na unaposema, nikupe dakika nyingine moja, unaposema hauna uoga wowote, awali nimesikia ukizungumza kuhusu tyranny of numbers. Nyinyi wawili yaonekana ni wageni katika ulingo wa siasa. Hauoni kana kwamba kuwa wageni kule kuna wapa ile disadvantage mkilinganisha na wale ambao pia wanagombea wadhifa huu wa kuwa naibu rais? Nyinyi ni wageni kwenye ulingo wa siasa.
Ndio, naweza kuwa mimi ni mgeni, lakini mgeni huja na heri njema. Miaka 30 tunaobishana nao wamekuwa kwenye siasa. Tyranny of numbers imetumika kila saa kusema watu wetu. Lakini kama iko sahi, ni kila Mkenya awaze ajiulize, hawa viongozi ama hii serikali inanifaidi aje kibinafsi? Kwa hivyo mimi na Roots Party tunaleta a mind shift, change of mindset. Mkenya akuwe selfish kivyake, aseme ingawaje kabila langu liko uongozini sijasaidika, lakini hawa hata kama sio kabila langu wako na agenda na wanataka kupeleka Kenya mbele. So I'm not scared in any way.
Anakutisha Ruth? Anakutisha Justina?
Not at all. Tuko hapa kuleta mabadiliko ile Wakenya wanatarajia. So we are coming in to bring the change. Hii ni uongozi mpya. We are not frightened with the fact that there is tyranny of numbers. Those are numbers, but the actual fact is Wakenya wamechoka. Tumekuja kuleta mabadiliko ile wamekuwa wakingojea.
Na labda ni kuongeza dakika moja, je, Roots Party inakuja kuharibu kura ya vijana na kuharibu vijana?
Naweza sema nobody owns anyone's vote. Our role hapa ni kuambia Wakenya that there is alternative. Si kila siku hiyo 30 years mmeambiwa ati tunafanya hivi. No, ours is to give alternative. No one owns any vote. Na Mkenya usiogope kupigia Roots Party kura ati because wewe ni wanani. And there's also another question. Kenyans are saying you should have started earlier. Let me say this. Official campaign period began on May 29th, 2022. So hakuna mapema tungekuja because we follow the law. Number 2, we have not yet gone into election. So you can vote for Roots Party, usiogope ati jueni wa mtu mwingine. And finally, Wakenya, kuambiwa that you're owned by someone is negating on our gains on democracy. This debate here has to achieve the purpose. The purpose is to convert the many Kenyans who we never find during the campaign trail, lakini wako kazini. So musikize na tuendelee pamoja.
Bi Ruth, labda kuambatanisha na hilo, mmeonekana kutoridhika sana na yale ambayo yanaendeshwa na Roots Party. Mna wasiwasi eti kwamba wanakuja kuharibu vijana. Kwa nini?
Tuseme ukweli. Marijuana, bangi, we say it is illegal. Sasa hii sera wanakuja kuuza, tunangoja kusikia venye wataweza kutuzia sisi wenyewe. And already it is an illegal substance. So how do we work around such manifestos? So maybe Justina will let us know further how far they can go with marijuana. I will give an example of kijana moja alikuwa nafanya kazi some place that I lived back then. Alikuwa nafieka nyasi at 11 p.m. na nikenda nikamuuliza. So I asked him the following morning because I had the noise from outside. Nikamuuliza what happened. Okay, I had heard the history that anavuta bangi. So I asked him in the morning, kwa nini ulikuwa unafieka nyasi saa 5 za usiku? Akaniambia, madam, nilikuwa napunguza kazi ya leo. So realistically, kama unapunguza kazi ya leo kufieka nyasi 11 p.m, I think kuna shida na tunaweza kuwa tunaelekea in the wrong direction.
Madam Justina, now you seem eager to say something about that?
Yeah, I'm happy Ruth is very respectful and she wants to listen to our manifesto. Let me say this. Our idea, and Kenyans, I want us to be very conscious and, open up your minds. And before I explain, let me give you a quote by a guy called Ralph Waldo. He said, in every generation, there are map makers who see opportunities, seize the opportunity, and open man's vision to the future. That is the direction Roots Party is taking. Now, marijuana, it's true, it's unfortunate. By the way, it's true, many people get that I have seen. I cannot say that they are not there. But remember, most people have mental challenges because of one, unemployment, cost of high living, that brings about depression. Halafu unaona watu wanapigana kwa malumbano. So high cost of living can account for the madness in this country. Actually, in Mathare, or rather the statistics in Kenya, 3 million of Kenyans suffer mental challenges. Why is it so, and yet marijuana is illegal? But let me say this, the marijuana we are advocating for, I'm happy that Kenyans have all gone through a science class in primary, a biology class in high school. There's something called species or cousins of plants. The marijuana is a plant, yes.
Naam. Muda umekwisha, lakini nitakuongezea sekunde 30 kabla nirudi kwake Ruth. Wewe binafsi umewahi vuta bangi?
Sijawahi na sitawahi. Sijawahi na sitawahi.
Hujawahi na hautawahi.
Zubeida, usikize hapa.
Kidogo niulize swali kisha utanijibu na nitakupa dakika 2 kuweza kueleza. Hujawahi kuvuta bangi na hautawahi kuvuta bangi.
Ile tutavuta ni ya ku purify.
Na mbona mruhusu vijana na mbona mhubiri kitu ambacho wewe binafsi haukiamini? Mbona uhubiri mvinyo ilhali wewe unakunywa maji?
Haya, tulia Zubeida, usikie mambo. Now, Kenyans, like I said, we are here to open up your vision to the future. There are 2 species of marijuana, or they are cousins, let me say that. Cousin moja anaitwa THC, which has the psychoactive ingredient, that is the cannabis sativa that you hear all the time, imeshikwa na watu wa DCI. But sisi focus yetu ni CBD or cannabis. That one gives you industrial hemp. So when you go hata venye professor anasema itapandwa kwa expressway and you pick a leaf and chew, it's only going to give a detox, let me tell you. And saiji watu wako na simu zao, can you Google hemp seed sales in Kenya? Those products are in sale because zinakwambia zinakupatia immunity, zinakupatia omega 3, unaona, it boosts your immunity. Those products are on sale and they do not have the psychoactive ingredient yenye inafanya watu wana lose focus. That is the bang you are advocating for. And industrial hemp is used in 9 sectors, namely textile, construction, magari, makeup, unaona hii makeup tumejipaka. The options, food and beverage, the options are many. So we are not here, and let me tell you Kenyans, consumption ama kuvuta ni kitu kidogo sana.
Ruth, unamwamini?
Simwamini. Ya kwanza amesema ni ya kupurify. I don't know what we are purifying with bang. I don't know what part we are purifying. Kwa hivyo ningetaka aweze kutuelezea kama ni damu tunaosha, kwa sababu kama ina purify na ni dawa, si tuapishwe 10th alafu 11th hospitali zifungwe kwa sababu ni dawa. Let us hear, how does it purify? I would wish to know.
Nimjibu Ruth, purifying si ati detox, kuna difference. Nimesema purify si detox. Kwa hivyo una need dawa ndio. And most medicine is made out of marijuana. Those medicine for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, pains, easy pains, watu wanakuanga chronic pains. So medicine inatengenezwa from marijuana. So already you're consuming. But nimesema purification process. Purification process, angalia, purification process ni, we have a challenge in this country, mainly corruption. 2 billion is lost every day, we were told that. But you know, corruption stems from what? Scarcity mentality. There are no other options in this country to make money. So everyone wants to go into politics where the salaries are lucrative. So your scarcity mentality, unaingia, you amass for yourself. So we are going to be purifying the scarcity mentality and the bad impact of corruption, colonialism, tribalism. Hizo vitu ni spiritual and we are going to purify them. Ndio ziishe kwa hii nchi. Ndio tukianza kazi, ile siku tutaapishwa, Kenya ikuwe safi, clean slate. So we are not smoking ati kufurahisha.
Justina, umesema how you don't take the substance. Na umesema that means we are all consumers of bang through medicinal.
That is, we need a break. We genuinely need a break. We need a breather because that is quite an interesting conversation. It's a practical debate between Justina and Ruth. What do you think in regards to the presentation of that debate on what each party is going to present, what Agano is going to bring for the country, and what the Roots party is going to bring? Justina has quite some strong points, but so does Ruth. So share with us your opinions and what you think in regards to this deputy presidential debate. Our social media handles are at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and KUTV Kenya on Facebook. I feel like that argument was pretty heated. So what do you think? What do you think? How is the weight for you? What is this that is changing your mind? As you give us this feedback, we will be coming back to listen in to what they had to say about the cost of living and the Chapter 6 in the Constitution. We will be coming back after this short break.
Cost of living. And if elected president, let's say in the first 100 days, what would be the Agano proposals to reduce the cost of living?
I agree to what you're saying, and I think the 100 days for us, we will repeat that our agenda is corruption. Cost of living has been affected by corruption widely, and if we deal with corruption, I think Kenyans will smile back at us. And the first 100 days, one that was implemented yesterday, na ninajua unga haijateremka. 2 weeks ago, on our manifesto, we launched that. We will introduce the subsidy of maize. It was introduced yesterday. Now, Kenya wameambiwa to wait for 2, 3 to 4 weeks for it to be felt. Jana nimepitia kwa supermarket, bado unga ni 230. So for us, we still have to bring the subsidy for Kenyans to be able to eat, because a hungry nation is an angry nation. For us, we're also planning to implement the pay cutoff of 50%. I know you'll want to ask where the deficit is going to come in. Our repayment period for the loan is 1.3 trillion. And the financial year, the last financial year, KRA reported that the payment that was done through the payee was 461 billion. So if we cut off the payee by 50%, that is 230 billion deficit. If we come and cap the repayment period, the repayment of the 1.3 trillion, kumbuka tutakuwa na ile extra 300, ile tutakuja kusongesha pale kwa payee, so that we are able to run our activities as usual and even have a small surplus of 7 billion to run with, that being amongst them.
Do you agree with her and the proposals to reduce the cost of living?
Okay, first, I can't agree with her, definitely, but cost of living is occasioned by inflation, number one. Too few goods, but there's too much money in circulation. Number two, taxes. When manufacturers have the tax burden, they push it to the consumer, and the consumer is not having any salary increase. So that is the reason we are having this. So let me say this. We are not going to do the 100 days, that's a lie. But you ask us after 1 year when you get into office, that one, we are going to widen the tax base. Why? I said marijuana is used in 9 sectors, across 9 sectors. Example, paper. We are going to give life to pan paper. Pan paper had been given life, but again, the logging law came in, so they don't have raw materials. We'll have marijuana that will be used for that. So our idea is to drive local economies whereby a Kenyan, instead of importing something from China, like the people of Nyamakema, their stuff was burnt for lack of quality, let them organize themselves, have local industries. If it's textile, plastic, paper, printing paper by the way is very expensive. So when we have local economies, we are going to widen the tax base so that a corporate tax shouldn't be 30%. We can lower it because we have more in the tax net. Another thing is to ensure that we give conducive environment for business. As it is, businesses are not comfortable. They are saying that the lack of the dollar in the country is impeding their purchasing power in the global supply chain. So when we give a conducive environment, the economies are going to be there, Kenyans are going to be employed, and then we are going to have money. Then the other youth who don't want to be employed in these industries can go into the other thing of investment that I said. We are going to empower the youth financially.
Kidogo hapo, hata kabla usonge sana, kwa sababu umesema kwamba hamtaahidi wa Kenya kwamba katika muda wa siku 100 mtafanya hivi na kadhalika. Awali ulituambia bangi inachukua muda wa miezi 4 kukua, na umetuambia kwamba hamtaahidi kwamba mtatimiza baada ya miezi ama mwaka siku 100. Kwa hivyo yule Mkenya anakutazama sasa hivi hawezi kumudu gharama ya kununua pakiti moja ya unga. Kwa hivyo unamwambia nini?
Huyo Mkenya nitamwambia that the truth is tumeteseka miaka 30. 1 year tunaweza vumilia, but we are putting in, Kenyans need an honest leader. As it is now, hii maneno ya kusarakasi na siasa is what is getting us here. We are being honest. We are saying, of course, they have put in the unga imeshukishwa bei, but sisi tukiangalia the truth, marijuana also gives flour. We can look at alternatives to the challenges.
Wakenya tunaleta transparency Wakenya tunaleta uongozi mpya, tunakuwa, we are the new broom. We are the people who are coming to clean up the corruption. We are people who are coming to stabilize the economy. We are concerned about our youth. We are concerned about the women plight, just as like the disabled, the people with disability. So give us the chance to take care of you. You are our bosses. It's paramount to know that you are our bosses. You are not the subject. So give us the vote and we shall bring in the change that we have been talking about.
Kauli yako ya kufunga Bi Justina.
And I called for mindset change when tulikuwa tunaanza hii debate. Kenyans, let us respect the media owners. They have organized this debate. And the purpose of this debate is to give you an opportunity to ask your leaders questions. And here we are. So don't see it like it's something that you time wasting, ama mulisha amua. No. If you need a different Kenya, a transformed Kenya, this is the opportunity. Let me say this as Roots Party. We might come off as jokers, as not serious people, but one thing we are doing is to push your mind and to ask yourself, by the way, my tribe doesn't help me, but the challenges I'm facing as an individual is what I want my government to help me with. So we are coming in with fresh ideas. We are coming in with the idea that Kenya can do better. Kenya is beautiful. We have athletes who we are always trending that they are doing well. We have musicians who are doing well. But when it comes to leadership, why do we have low self-esteem? Why do we choose people? Why are we scared to go a different direction? So my call to Kenyans is that Roots is different. We are giving you a solution. We are explaining to you where we are going to get the money to run government projects, and we are ready to serve you. So be different. Don't feel like anyone owns you. Don't feel like you're doing someone a favor. And for the 44 million undecided, I hope I've convinced you. And the ones who are decided, I hope I've converted you to vote for Roots Party, because this is the government and the party for the future.
Very, very heated debate right there. What do you have to say? I cannot pick sides, but I'd like to know what side you're picking, who you feel has convinced you enough between Roots Party and Agano. That is Justina and Ruth. What is your opinion? What are your thoughts and feelings in regards to the debate we just watched? Do you think that their selling points are really valid? Do you think that they're worthy, either of them are worthy of your vote as a Kenyan? First question, are you voting? We will ask you till the last minute. Are you voting? Do you know, do you even have a clue where your voter's card is? Are you going to vote? And if you are, tell us if our candidates are convincing enough to help you make up your mind. I'd like to read some feedback right here. We have Wawero was signature. I'm watching. Thank you so much for watching, Wawero. Kasi Royal, flour prices are still high kwa ground. Oh, really? Makes quite some sense. Charles Luanga from Nyamira County, well-standing frequency check. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Kipturu Jeb Keitani Tala, mindset change. Thank you so much for joining us. In studio with me, I have Cinnamon and Kelvin here to talk about sexual and reproductive health and rights. They talk to us about their journey and how they educate teenagers in regards to sexual conversations, how to groom themselves, how to take care of themselves, how to avoid teenage pregnancies, and if you're there already, like I said earlier, how to navigate through the journey. But right before we get into it, join us on all our social media platforms at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. We will be coming back to get into the conversation after this short break, as we also wait for now the debate between Martha Karua and Gachagua. Stay tuned.
In a collaborative venture with various stakeholders to strengthen its efforts to protect against harm and misuse, short-form mobile video platform TikTok has launched a Kenya General Election Hub in-app to help promote safety.
Important to us.
The team in Africa did a week-long engagements in Kenya, targeting NGOs, government, media, corporate organizations, civil societies, educational institutions, and other role players that form part of the community in Kenya.
The programs that we've put together for elections. Specifically, our flagship project is the Elections Hub, where we partner with the Electoral Commission to make sure that our users have got accurate and authoritative information on the elections. We strongly believe that the best way to deal with misinformation is to put out accurate information.
As part of the initiative, the platform launched a 3-part series titled #TikTok for Peace in partnership with Article 19, which is a series of TikTok live streams hosted at Strathmore University Policy Innovation Center and streamed on the Article 19 TikTok page, featuring key opinion formers in government, civil society and academia to focus on tolerance, building bridges and active citizenship.
Live features allow you to block and filter keywords, so you can ensure that they never appear on the chat, as well as ways you can block users, time them out, and mute users as well.
In Kenya and beyond, consumers are encouraged to be part of the campaign by reporting harmful content that appears untrue and fuels any political intolerance in any way.
The guidelines will make sure that especially misinformation is not recommended in your feed, in your For You feed, and videos or content that are not substantiated. We work with fact checkers and make sure that we put labels on them to warn users that this information is not substantiated and to warn them before actually sharing.
Reporting is made so simple, which is amazing for younger users as well as the aged.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know, while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits. The road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane. Keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Kenyatta University will hold its 51st graduation ceremony on Friday, 22nd July 2022 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The graduation ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786335111, or visit the KU website at www.ku.ac.ke. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
The informal settlements are known for many social ill, and in today's episode we tell you exactly how sports is being used as a remedy to these vices. Today we head to Mwiki, where we meet young Mwiki acrobats. The children, mostly from poor backgrounds, have been learning the art under the tutelage of Emmanuel Ouma.
Acrobat entails art, performance, or an activity done by an acrobat. In today's episode, we take a dig deep into the sport and follow up on a group from Mwiki by the name Kasarani Mwiki Acrobats, comprising of young enthusiasts trying to bring the sport into the limelight. Let's find out what motivates them.
Welcome to Children's Corner. Welcome to Children's Corner.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us up until this far. Like I teased you earlier, I have Kelvin and Cinnamon from the organization that goes by the name Respect. They're here to share with us their journey on how they're trying to change lives of teenagers. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. You're looking amazing.
Thank you. We are happy to be here. The studio is very warm. Pale nje kuna baridi. It is very warm here.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you very
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'd like you to introduce yourselves. Ladies first.
Sure.
Cinnamon.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Cinnamon Bitutu Nyagaka. I'm a 5th year medical student here at Kenyatta University. And aside from being a student, for the purpose of our conversation today, I am also a sister and a daughter. And yes,
a sister is a sister or a sister in a church.
I have a sister, like familiar relations. I have a sister and I have a brother too. Yes, and yes, I'm a volunteer at Respect. And I think we'll be discussing more about the organization as the conversation progresses. Yes.
Interesting. The gentleman, the most blessed man amongst women.
Amen to that. Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Thiga Morioki. I'm a sexual health and reproductive rights advocate, working under Respect or volunteering under Respect. And I will say WCW, another one for the ladies. So I know most men out there are wondering what's my place here when you're talking about SRHR, and that is what we are going to expound more and shed light on the same. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Cinnamon.
Yes.
Help us understand who is Respect and what exactly does Respect do?
Thank you for that. So we'll just start with the Respect. That is Respect with a K.
Yes.
That is Respect stands for Reproductive and Sexual Health Program for Kenyan Teenagers. Sorry. So basically we are targeting the Kenyan adolescents and Kenyan teenagers as our target population when we're talking about sexual and reproductive health and rights. There are people we go to talk about sexual and reproductive health, and we always say respect the mission. And our mission is taking this information and, you know, debunking the myths around sexual and reproductive health to our Kenyan teenagers and availing this information to them and reaching out to them. And that is what we are all about, reaching out and giving the right information and education about SRHR.
Nice. Yes. Mr. Kelvin, why is this important to you as an individual, especially as a man? It's a very sensitive place to be.
Exactly.
How are you able to handle everything? Why is it important to you?
Why this is important to me, the issue about sexual and reproductive health, it has so many things around it. Talk of gender-based violence, menstrual hygiene management, teenage pregnancies, it has a lot. And why this is close to me, it's because of that particular element, which is teenage pregnancies. I've been brought up in a community, and the school that I went to, my primary school, right before I finished, then we already had girls who were expectant. When I went into high school, some could not continue with the same high school, which is basic education. Some could not continue with the same basic education because they had dropped out because they were expectant. When I finished high school, most of my classmates or some of my classmates who are ladies, they were either in their second bonds or third bonds. So you can see like 10, 15 years down the line, when I'm at this particular level, my friends have not been able to catch up with me because they had certain hurdles in their life and
responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. So it's close to my heart because I would want these same ladies that we were in class to be in the same spaces that I am in. So that is why I'm out here advocating and spreading information about teenage pregnancies. That is why it's close to my heart. And it goes on even to the other elements on MHM and gender-based violence. Yes.
Cinnamon.
Yes.
When you're trying to spread this kind of information to the boy child, because I'm sure you've interacted with the boy child, how well is it received considering you're a woman? He's given us his perspective as a man, but as a woman towards the teenage boy, how is it for you?
First of all, I think I can start with when we are going to the school visits and we are approaching, and I think as the chapter of here, we recently went to our school attached as a mixed school. So first of all, when conversation about sexual and reproductive health, we are not mostly targeting the ladies. We also have the boys sitting there with the ladies, and we are telling them all about sex ed and telling them all about contraception and everything else, and we get to hear from their side of view and also what they think about it. So basically we are incorporating men's ideas to the it, because we also want to consider the men and boys as potential allies in furthering our mission and taking the message out there. And I think when we really talk about sexual and reproductive health, the focus is, yes, on girls and women. And before we say, we normally say that when we put them together in like a bowl, we are hiding the main idea, which is teenage pregnancies, as you said, gender-based violence, which mostly women are the main victims. Yeah. But also when we're talking about STIs and HIV and contraception, everyone is involved. Yes, and we're talking about gender, there's the male and the female. So we really can't hide the fact that male also have issues when it comes to SRHR, and they should be considered as potential allies and potential supporters in advocating for SRHR.
Interesting. Kelvin, you've said something in regards to how teenage pregnancies is a little bit so close to your heart. How is the state of teenage pregnancy in the country right now, based on the things you've experienced and the things you've seen?
Okay, so when you want to talk impact, it's easier talking numbers. So let me start with numbers. As of now, the Ministry of Health the other day said that Kenya, the teenage pregnancies and motherhood stands at 18%. When
18% is a big
18% is a big number. Let me bring it home or closer. Out of every 5 girls you meet, one of them is expectant and is a teenager between the ages of 10 to 19 years.
5 girls?
Out of 5 girls, one is expectant, 10 to 19 years. That is only 18% means. We cannot say we are badly off or better off as a country if we don't relate, if we don't compare ourselves with the rest. Out of the 193 countries in the whole world, Kenya ranks number 3. Globally. I cannot. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk numbers.
I am genuinely shocked. I am honestly shocked.
Out of all the teenage pregnancies in Kenya, we are talk of 47 counties. Half of the number is contributed by 9 counties.
9 counties?
9 counties. So when I'm talking about how bad is teenage pregnancies in Kenya, we are at a bad place as a country.
It is
really bad and wanting. Yes.
Wow. Cinnamon, what do you think can be done?
I think he has given us the statistics and the numbers, and I could not have put it any better. And when I really just want to add on what he has said, and I also want to bring it like closer. When we are looking at these girls, we can say like 1 out of 3 girls visit antenatal clinics. This is where they get their reproductive.
1 out of the 3 pregnant girls.
Yeah, people go visit antenatal clinics. And teenage pregnancies is something really crucial. And vile amesema, we're talking about, this was news, this was really a big...
It's like a pandemic.
It's like a pandemic, yeah. And you're talking about being ranked 3rd highest globally.
In the world, yeah.
In the world, that means there's something that we are not doing right. We're not something doing right. And when we're looking at it, if we're looking at the causes of teenage pregnancies, we dialed down who is getting these teenagers pregnant. Yeah, it's either within their circle, within their circle of age groups, or someone older. So what are the perpetrators of when it comes to teenage pregnancies? You can find maybe this poverty, the low socioeconomic status of people.
There's a name I'm trying to remember, where you give off your body for you to get pads. I'm not remembering.
Transactional
sex.
For menstrual products.
That is the word I was
exactly.
Yes.
So we can find when we are but girls are combated with the idea they can't afford to have their own menstrual hygiene, menstrual products. They have to resort into exchanging what they have, and that is their bodies,
to get what
they need. And as a country, that is, we still have a lot
of work to
do in matters like combating teenage pregnancies, and there's work to be done.
Kelvin, do you think that introduction of all these methods to prevent STIs, STDs, and teenage pregnancies, do you think introduction of contraception and the condoms and all these pills and the likes. Do you think it is necessary to do it to teenagers?
Interesting. So just to allude to what Cinnamon was saying, there's poverty out there, poverty in terms of money, poverty in terms of education, in terms of information. And this poverty in terms of information, we still have a lot of things going around, myths and misconceptions. Go to our secondary schools, ask them, what do you know about sex?
What are some of the myths you've had? Speaking of myths, share with us some. And Cinnamon will also give us a few. What are some of the myths and misconceptions
Myths
you've
and
had from these
misconceptions,
children?
exactly. So you will hear a boy or a girl confidently tell you that if you have a sexual encounter with a boy when standing,
Yeah, I've had that as well.
you
will
won't-
not get pregnant
you won't
because of
get
gravity.
pregnant. Exactly.
Yes.
That they will, they will fall back.
Yeah, yes, I've had that as well.
That is one. Another one is, okay, we are told of safe days in a menstrual cycle.
Yes.
But really, are they really safe days?
No.
No.
I would say no.
No. So that is yet another one.
It's yes and no. Yes, if you are taught by the right practitioner how to go about it, and no, if you do it by yourself via you googled about it.
Exactly.
So no, yes and no. I would say yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
But you know something. Okay, it's too much biology, but
Yeah.
it's a 50-50. It's a give or take.
True.
So the same. So even when these myths and misconceptions are being perpetuated by these young people, you'll find that all the men who are coming for this transactional sex, they will now come with the same myths and say, you know me, I'm safe. Like I'm in my safe days. Like a man, what is that?
And these young people will believe them because definitely this is an older person.
This is an older person. He knows more than me. And then there's now let me go to the question that you had asked. Is it right to introduce these methods of contraception to young people?
Yes.
If we keep on shying from these conversations, if I'm talking about 18% of the teenage pregnancies,
keep going
it
higher.
means that they already know what can be done. They already know they already know what is sex.
Yes.
They already know how it's done. They have this information at the click of the button.
Yeah.
They already know all the dynamics around it. But if we shy off from starting these conversations, that it's a high time. Okay, we have been preaching abstinence for a very long time, but now we need to introduce be safe. Our parents, our mothers, our fathers out there, it's your role to have this
To accept that they are already going to do it.
Exactly.
Or they're already doing
Exactly.
it.
So your main thing will be my daughter or my son. There are ways you can be safe. And these are the different methods. These are the different methods of contraception. If you find it so hard for you, there are so many youth-friendly centers out here. We partner with one in Egerton called Rafiki Youth Center. They will offer this information openly and freely because it's a youth-friendly center. So I believe that there is a place we should be having these conversations with the children, and even, the quality check for what should be fed into children is
There's
the
one
government.
we used to learn. I was lucky enough to go to a school where they were open enough to teach us, and it was called ABC. I can't remember clearly. It was abstinence, be something, and then C was contraception. Be faithful, and then contraception.
Yes. So actually it was, if for example you've never had a sexual partner before, you're just advised, you just abstain. If you are in any form of relationship,
Be faithful.
Be faithful to your partner, because that is the only way you can't get it. If a disease is not between, if you don't have it and your partner doesn't have it, only if you're not faithful, that's how you'll get it inside you.
And if you can't do
A and B, just use condoms
contraception
or contraceptives. Yes.
I like what he's saying about contraceptives and why we should avail this
conversation.
Yeah, we should avail these contraceptives to introduce to teenagers.
Yeah.
There's always an issue which comes about, social conservatives always bring up the agenda that if we introduce contraception to young people,
you'll encourage them
to practice sexual behavior. But
statistics
and research have shown that this is not the case. You'd imagine that if we are giving contraceptions, we'd have higher sex rates, higher abortions, higher teenage pregnancies. But if we really look at the core of the problem as to why we're having teenage pregnancies and abortions at a high, is because there's that education bit that people are not really sensitized and are not having the right information at their fingertips.
Yeah.
That's why we are having the rise in this, we call it the triple threat. That is HIV infections, adolescent pregnancies, and something I'm missing. Oh, the risk of sexual and gender violence. So that is HIV, rise of HIV infections, adolescent pregnancies, and sexual and gender violence. So really, when we, as I think some of the things we encounter when we are going out there and going to the school visits and advocating for SRHR is that you are promoting sex by, you know, talking
Teaching
to
them
kids
about
our
it.
sex ed, and that is really not the case. We're just wanting to equip the young people with the right information, the right
So they
tools,
can be able to make
the right
sane
decision,
decisions.
exactly, informed
Yes.
decisions about it.
Kelvin, do you think the society is ready for this conversation? Is it ready to have these conversations as raw as they sound?
So the readiness of the community, let's judge it based on what we are seeing on the ground. If you're going to schools and a principal can allow us to launch a club that will be talking about sexual and reproductive health within their school, and it's not just one school. We are launching clubs in high schools where we have almost 7 now. That is one. In the near future, you're going to have workshops, town halls. You're going to have university town halls. You're going to have community town halls. We are double sure that people will turn up for these conversations. If you are going to gauge the readiness of the community to receive this information, the community is gradually adjusting.
Yeah.
Because these conversations that we are starting here, we don't know who is watching there at home. Yes, maybe a father, maybe a mother, maybe a brother or a sister.
Sure.
If they get to hear this and we start this conversation, we start normalizing it. The same way, for example, let me allude to politics because that is what is happening right now. If I come up with a particular political narrative right now, it may sound so absurd and so new and it has never been heard before. But if everybody gets to speak about it, it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
So that is the same way. These conversations that we are having here, somebody there at home gets to hear of them, and then they start the conversations around them. Although we may say that they are not ready, but kwa ground vitu ni different. They are having these conversations. The community is ready.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect time, the age of information, where you can easily access information.
True.
Because when I talk about transactional sex, somebody out there goes and starts looking for what is transactional sex.
Yes,
We are igniting conversations there at home. So the community is ready.
Cinnamon, Kelvin said something to do with, right now during the campaign period is a very good time for these people to propagate such conversations. Do you think is there any government intervention in regards to resolving this, let's call it a pandemic, pandemic?
I love that question. In matters prioritization, we were just looking at the debates between the deputy president, and we are looking forward to the presidential debate. When we're talking about political prioritization when it comes to adolescent sexual and reproductive health, I look at 3 factors. We have just mentioned the statistics you've given us, and that is teenage pregnancies being on the high. But you'd expect maybe our preferable candidate talking about these things when it comes to, is the government openly expressing their concern about it? And it's not a matter of just concern, but is it continued concern about the rise in teenage pregnancies? So first, are we having our political leaders talking about it, both privately and publicly expressing their concern about it? When we're looking at policies, recently the reproductive health policy was launched. The government is supposed to legislate policies that are suitable to the specific needs of the adolescent at that particular age. But when we're talking about, there are some things when the youth are not actively being involved in the policy making process, we might tend to overlook some things which are really important to them, like when it comes to menstrual hygiene, abortion rights, all those things. And also when talking about the government in terms of budgeting and releasing budgets appropriate for that problem. So is the government doing what it's supposed to do, releasing funds for that particular moment? So the government, yes, is doing something, but it's really not enough, and
yes and no.
Is
yes and no, or yes and maybe?
Yes, but also
they can do better.
They can definitely do better.
Kelvin, most of these teenagers may not be in a position or comfortable to keep their babies once they find out they've conceived. How is the situation in regards to abortion, if you've had any?
Okay. So first things first, when you come to talk about abortion, it's a very sensitive topic. You will see many people wiggling in their seats, like I'm doing right now. So what informs the abortion? What informs everything? The practice of abortion. Who can receive? Who can do an abortion in Kenya? Who can offer such a service? Which facility can offer such a service? There's a lot of fights. Call it fights between the pro-lives and the pro-choice.
Yes.
So pro-life are saying that God, the giver of life, should be the taker of life. God gave you life and is the only one to take this life. So you as a lady, you have no choice in
what to do with your body.
Exactly. And then you go to the pro-choice people. The pro-choice they are now the liberal people. They'll be like, you know what? The human body, the woman, it's my body, my choice.
Yes.
I should do whatever I want with it. Those are the approaches. And you have so many. Now, on either sides, you have big financiers, big donors. We have the government on one side pushing for this. You have the church pushing for this. You have private individuals and NGOs and all that pushing for this. So it's a big fight.
Yeah.
But now, the final decision is informed by the government. The government says that the government is clearly, or the constitution clearly highlights that abortion is a crime, and should not only unless this pregnancy puts the mother at risk. So you see, now let me give you a series of scenarios. What if, for example, I am a girl and I was raped?
Yes.
What if I am a girl and I am below the age of 18 and I'm still in school? What will I do? What if I am a wife? I'm in a relationship with my husband. I have the firstborn, secondborn. I don't want a thirdborn. What will I do? So you see,
there's a bunch of circumstances.
Exactly. And now, when you have the government saying that this is illegal, people are now opting to go backdoor.
The unhealthy way.
I've heard of stories whereby so you go to a community. These people, they have been born there, they have been brought up there, so their circle has always been within this community. So they don't even have information, and these people, they believe that if you want to abort, for example, you take sugar, you take tea leaves, prepare a highly concentrated turungi, just to save turungi, and take it. You take pumpkin seeds and crush them, and
I've also heard of boiling Coca-Cola.
So you see, people are now turning back to ways that, and I can tell you for sure, abortion is happening. Just a few weeks ago, in my life, I've never really met somebody who has done it.
You've not met someone who opens up and tells you that I've actually conducted an abortion.
So we are in the clinic, and it's the radiographer's clinic. So ultrasound, where the ultrasounds are taken. And then a girl walks in with her mother. She's in school uniform, and then she comes in, just like the norm. You lie on the bench, and then the doctor will have a conversation with you and take the probe and start looking at your stomach. So this girl, the doctor, what he's seeing some remains of some fetus. There is evidence of life here. This life is not living, and there's some evidence of life here. Then he's like, hey mama, ebu tafadhali acha niongee na mtoto wako kidogo.
A private conversation.
Exactly, it should be a private Then the mother, the first thing is she's shocked.
Pregnant. Is my daughter pregnant?
Like, I've never brought you to the hospital, and I had to be told that I walk away. Like me, I bring you because of other issues. I bring you because of coughs, and I've always been there. But why is this particular one I'm being told to walk out? So the mother, those skeptic, you can see that she has put on a different face altogether.
Yeah.
And you start having a conversation with this child. Hey, are you sexually active?
Yes.
Have you engaged
in an abortion?
Have you done this? Have you done this? And the child will come out right and say, no, I've not done
Even
this.
with evidence.
Even with evidence. And you're like, you know what? like whatever I'm saying does not relate with whatever you're saying.
Yeah, it does not match, yes.
Exactly. So abortion is there, people are doing it, and we have institutions that are offering safer abortions to say, and yeah.
Wow, it's interesting. As we wind up, are there other things you do in line with respect other than just teenage pregnancies?
Yes, of course, we do. In terms of, aside from teenage pregnancies, we are an organization that advocates for SRHR. And when you look at SRHR, there are so many entities under it. There's the bit for sexual, just go into sexual reproductive services. So we have the teenage pregnancies, we have the HIV infections, we also dealing with matters when it comes to contraception services, and also aside from the education that we give to the Kenyan teenagers, we also have services that we refer to them through our linkages, organizations we partner with. He given an example with the Rafiki Youth Center. We also have partnered with, in terms of marriage stops, in giving contraceptive services to people, young people. We also have GVRC, where we have we are dealing
What is GVRC?
Oh, it's Gender Violence Recovery Center.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is dealing with victims who are victims of
gender violence.
So yes, we do have, aside from what we preach to or we teach the students in high schools, we do also have our linkages that
services that deal with everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Kelvin, where can if I'm a teacher out there, or I'm a head teacher or a principal, how can I reach out to you? Or it is you as the organization that reach out to the school? How does it work?
So these are an age of information, and everybody's on social media.
Yes.
So that is the first place that you will find us. You can get us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Respect KD. Respect, we said respect with a K.
With a K.
Respect with a K, which is an acronym. KD for Kenya, K is for Kenya, and D is for Denmark. Because
Respect is an acronym.
Respect is an acronym.
For
Reproductive and Sexual Health Program for Kenyan Teenagers. Okay.
Oh wow.
RESPEK. So Respect is an acronym by itself, but it explains itself. So you'll find us on our social media platforms, and our contact will give.
You can give out the contact. Feel free.
Yeah, I think it's easier we give. We'll just tell you. Yeah, as you go.
Interesting. So your personal social medias, if any teenager wants to reach out to you on a personal level.
My Facebook is Cinnamon Nyagaka. For Twitter, it's C_Bitutu, and Instagram is Cinnamon Nyagaka as well.
Interesting. Kelvin?
Okay, so you'll find me on Instagram and on Facebook. I use my surname, so I use Kevo Morioki. I've never changed since since high school.
Got into social media.
So Kevo Morioki on Instagram and on Facebook, but on Twitter, I'm Morioki Thiga K.
Interesting. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing with us your knowledge this very beautiful morning. As we wind up, I'd like to read some feedback. We have feedback from Respect KD, an important conversation. Thank you so much to whomever is doing your social media. Have Bidian Okoth rooting for you. Thank you so much for joining. Kipturu Japkeitani Tala, to combat the skyrocketing rates of teenage pregnancies, we need to educate our communities. Ignorance is one of the greatest reasons for the statistics. Exactly what Kelvin said earlier. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be coming back with the remaining half of the deputy presidential debate. Stay tuned. Also, keep sending your feedback at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. I will see you after this short break. Welcome back. Let's get into some matters sports. Siblings Muqtadir Niji and Khalika Nimji will fly the Kenyan flag in Birmingham during the Commonwealth Games. The team is under the tutelage of coach Prince Mukuka Jr., who is assisted by Gakuo Ndirango. Our sports journalist Stanley Nyaringita has more.
Just 12 days left to the Commonwealth Games, the dream of playing in Birmingham is now shaped to reality for siblings Muqtadir Nimji and Khalika Nimji, who will be representing Kenya for the squash duty. Khalika has played at 3 Commonwealth Games, starting with the 2010 Commonwealth Games in New Delhi while 12 years old. She says the training has been intense since the beginning of the year. Her brother, on the other hand, has been sharpening his skills in Birmingham with the best in the game.
My brother Muqtadir, since he's playing already in Birmingham, he's playing with the world-class athletes, training with them every day. So I think his level has gone up quite a lot. For us here, we've also been playing with each other. I've had the opportunity to train with the men, so I think that's also upped my game quite a bit.
The team is under the tutelage of Zambian-born former Kenyan #1 squash player Prince Mukuka Jr. and Gakuo Ndirango. Mukuka is optimistic of good performances and stresses that the players need exposure.
The difference that I see is that my players basically need to be exposed. That is the only way they can get to another level. During my time, we used to travel to so many countries, and we used to play so many tournaments within Kenya, not just at Parklands. We also used to go to Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nakuru as well.
The team will be wrapping things up at the training camp in Moi Sports Center, Kasarani, before flying to Birmingham for the Games, which will tip off on the 28th of July to the 8th of August 2022. Stanley Nyaringita, KUTV Sports.
Moving on, in the effort to strengthen biomedical engineering in Kenya, German-based industry, GIZ, and partnering organizations yesterday officially commissioned and handed over biomedical equipment to Kenyatta University. The acting vice-chancellor, Professor Wanjohi Washeke, oversaw the official commissioning and handing over, applauding the partnership. Our senior reporter, Omondi Otieno, was at the unveiling ceremony and filed the following reports.
With the rising demand of biomedical technicians in the sub-Saharan Africa, Kenyatta University has stepped in to fill the gap by training professionals who play a key role in the health sector. The acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Wanjohi Washeke, oversaw the official commissioning and handing over biomedical engineering equipment to the institution, where she strongly lauded the Germans for their commitment in partnering with Kenyatta University.
I think the need to have a critical mass of trained biomedical engineers cannot be overstated because of the critical support they provide in our hospital system, and also because of the critical need to also train the students or the technologies, the staff who are going to work in those very hospitals. And so being a training institution, I really appreciate that these equipments are placed where they belong.
The Deputy German Ambassador to Kenya, Tom Winners, who was the chief guest, reiterated their commitment to ensure Kenya attains sufficient workforce in the health sector. Borrowing from the COVID-19 pandemic, he challenged Africa to step up the processes that would enhance manufacturing of own pharmaceuticals to avoid dependence on Western countries.
I mean, this is a public-private partnership. And I think this is a very, very good example of a public-private partnership. This is just the starting point of a wonderful future cooperation. And we hope that this will benefit the Kenyan health sector and the Kenyan population.
This is the first few universities in Africa to start the biomedical engineering program. And as was said, this was through the initiative of the United Nations Economic Commission in Africa, and that was in 2011.
The partnering industries, led by Director of GIZ, a German-based company, also lauded the initiative by Kenyatta University on training professionals in the biomedical engineering field. They also reiterated their efforts to ensure they provide state-of-the-art equipment and support.
If we have learned one thing during the COVID pandemic, it is that Africa needs to be in a position to manufacture, and not only that, to innovate in the pharmaceutical and the healthcare industry. In order to reduce dependencies, in order to counter the next pandemic, which might just be around the corner, and not least in order to employ her young population in one of the industries that will define the future of our society.
The private-public partnerships of Kenyatta University and the German-based organizations is considered the greatest boost of the healthcare sector in the sub-Saharan Africa. The program will empower professionals who will have a huge role in achieving the healthcare needs of the region. Omondi Otieno, KUTV.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us up until this minute. We started at 7, it is now 9:06. You've stayed quite some time, it's been over 2 hours, and thank you so much also for your feedback. Our social media platforms are at KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, at KUTV Kenya on Instagram, and at KUTV Kenya on Facebook. I have a very, very interesting guest with me right now in studio. Goes by the name Maria Nyambane. I'd like to give her a little bit of intro as we celebrate women today. Every Wednesday here at Woman Crush Wednesday, we celebrate the woman of the day. Maria Nyambane is a journalist, she's an author, she's a medical lab technician, she's a counseling psychology, wears quite a number of hats, and she's also a mother and a wife. And interesting enough, she has a book by the name Marriage is a Scam. This should be interesting. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I'm always excited, although. At the same time, I'm comfortable and confident that after today, no one will throw stones at me. Because they have.
I hope to change my mind, because who is Maria? Who is Maria?
Maria is a very simple girl. I'm a mother of 2 boys, 2 very handsome boys. I'm married to one, Mr. Nahashon Waweru, and together we run I'll call it a charity-based organization called the Wawerus all over social media. And at the same time, I am the director of Masha Arts. I run the only kids magazine in Kenya, The Young Magazine. And I'm also an author and a journalist.
Wow, you wear very many hats.
Very.
When you came in, I asked you a question. Are you married? And you've just answered that you are.
Yes, I am.
But why is marriage a scam?
Because that is the truth that no one tells us. You know, lately, a 19-year-old is married.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anyone today, but since we know that there are so many ways of income, most annoying one being, let's say, social media.
Yeah.
So you decide to get into marriage at 19. You don't know the basics, the things that go into marriage. Then a few years later, instant gratification of today, we love noodles so much. It's over. You've left me with a kid. At 24, I've gone through the experiences of a 30-year-old at a very young age.
Yeah.
Whereas me, who got married at the right age, is still going through the same challenges you went through, only that I'm mature enough to know
how to handle the situation. Yeah.
I can't run away because my husband came home late once, but you will start throwing a fuss because he came home late once.
And because someone on Twitter said that if he comes home late, leave that man.
Yeah. If right now my husband doesn't buy me a car, it's not a big deal. I know our income, it's not supporting that. But for you, you feel like so-and-so was surprised with a car.
Why are you not
Why
buying
not
me a
me?
car?
At the same time, now that is on the positive side of things. Now on the negative side of things, I am in that marriage. I know when you are telling me to marry you on those streets, seriously, you are making an effort. Now I'm in marriage. No one told me that when I get into marriage, you'll
There are
relax.
no more dates.
You will know, if you don't have time for dates, you'll tell me there are responsibilities. You'll tell me there's so much to do. So in both sides, marriage is a scam. Whichever way you look at it. It's just that when we get into it, no one opens our eyes before we go into that marriage. And that's why the book Marriage is a Scam, to help you at least know how to handle these situations and to listen to both sides of the story. Because in this book, I've not said that marriage is a scam for women. No.
It's for everyone.
Yeah, for both men and women, they get to express how it is a scam for them. Yeah.
How has the journey been for you? How was it writing this book for you? What did it trigger? I'm curious. What did it trigger for you?
First of all is the stories. I remember I started writing this book after a friend of mine called me. And she shared a problem she had. And I was like, wow.
Marriage is a scam.
Yeah, I went through the same thing. Then, now I started doing my research from there. A 50-year-old, a 30-year-old marriage, a 20-year-old marriage, a 1-year-old marriage, you are all going through the same things. Only that when you are going to make that vow, it's only a 6-hour ceremony with a yes, I do, and a certificate from the government to tell you you're married. But they don't know that after that 6 hours, now you're going to the real exam.
It is said that marriage is the only, it's where you get a certificate before doing your exam. Like you are first awarded a certificate and then now you go through the process.
But you know the problem with that is, Kitambo, before us, people would do the exam willingly and they've already been prepared for the exams. Nowadays you tell your daughter, let no man tell you anything. Ujafukuzwa kwenu. That phrase has ruined so many marriages, by the way. We are teaching our kids not to take anything, no matter how small it is. And then since we don't listen to both...
You are the price.
Yes. Like, we don't listen to both sides of the story. So, even if your kid was in the wrong, you've already told the kid, don't take anything. They won't take anything.
If anything, your bed is still at home.
Yes.
Just come back.
So, because of all the way we are raising our kids and the way we were raised, because right now, the people who are in marriage are more kids than adults. Actually, more kids are in marriage than adults.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because right now, the marriages that are flourishing are between 19 to 23-year-olds. They're already married. They already have kids.
But are they lasting long? Are they reaching there forever?
No, they're not. And if they do, those must be people who are raised with toughness to know that I'm going to take this to the end. And sometimes you find that we were pushed into this microwave generation by how things have changed.
Yeah.
It's not our fault. It's not my fault that the things my mom took, I can't take them. It's not. But it is true, I can't take the things my mom took.
Yes.
And maybe I'm one of the lucky ones who are in happy marriages because...
I'm finding that statement so interesting.
Yeah, because I'm one of them. Like you've asked me, I wear many hats. I've never suffered when it comes to career-wise. Like, I'm having a baby, I'm going on maternity. I have my husband to run my things for me because they can't die and he's surviving. That's the point.
Yes.
But some people will feel like, okay, now you are this, now you have to quit your job. Now you have to do this.
He's a supportive partner.
Very supportive. Others don't have the privilege of having the support. So, for me, they say that in marriage you pick your struggles. He may not be this kind of person who will light candles all over the road for you, throw flowers, but at least he'll help me make my money at the end of the month. So he may not be this kind of person who will come home with a gift of a car and thing, but he'll be this kind of person who will discuss with you, by the way, which car am I getting, not this one and this one. Even if it's not a surprise, he's reaching the goal. So I'm picking my struggles in my marriage. Now, there are these people who have not been taught to pick your struggles.
Yeah.
Now, the struggles come all at once and then you're like,
I can't do this.
You had to be romantic, you had to listen to me, you had to be supportive. He can't have it all. He'll have maybe 5%. Out of the 100%, he may have 5%.
Yeah.
And marriage is the one thing that, everything else they tell you that it is 99% faulty. Marriage is 100% challenge on everything, every single thing. Yeah.
As you were writing this book, what exactly was your end goal?
My end goal is for people to stop getting into marriages or divorcing so fast without even having an idea of what they are going through. For those who are married, I wish they would read this book so that at least they will know this challenge is a common thing, but how do I handle it?
So this book is not telling you because marriage is a scam, leave. It is teaching you it is a scam,
it is a scam, and this is how you can handle the scam. Like, for example, I am this kind of person who says that gender-based violence, or in a marriage if you're being hit, that one you can't stay. I am the kind of person who believes that.
Yes.
So that is something that I had to cover. Like, for example, if that person is violent, how do you handle that? I can't tell you that, okay, you know what, marriage is a scam, but if he hits you, stay. No, don't. Handle that.
Yeah.
Because people die in marriages too. And then you die, you leave your kids. For who?
Yeah, totally unrelated, but there's a story that was really trending a week or two ago, or even 3, of this lady who even had her husband pluck her hair. He took everything from her, but she withstood everything. I don't know if you've seen that story.
Yeah, I have seen that story.
She stood by him through everything after he took everything away from her that she had worked for by herself.
And that's why we should stop saying that love is real. Yeah. Stop telling people that I'm in love to a point that you lose yourself. Love yourself first. If you're getting into marriage and you don't love yourself, then you're getting into that marriage for the wrong reasons. Because you're hoping for this person to fulfill the love for you and the love for himself. And we know one thing, no offense to men, they were created in such a manner that
men are selfish.
Selfishness is part of them.
Yes, yes.
And women were created in such a manner that once you
selfless.
get married, you stop living your life for you.
Yeah. You're living it for your husband, your children, your career.
You can't live you can never live your life for you anymore.
And that's why it is said that a woman, you're born as Maria. Let me use myself as an example. I'm born as Nina, but after some time I am a mother. After some time I will be Mama Hadassah. After some time maybe I have another child, let's say call them Jeremy. So I am Nina, I am Mama Hadassah, I am Mama Jeremy, I am Mrs. X. I am, you're no longer yourself.
You're no longer yourself. You have so many titles that when it comes to now, I need to put those titles aside to just be Maria. It's hard. Like, I want to take a vacation by myself. I'm like, oh, my babies, how do I leave them? How will they stay? So now what do I do?
What will
Pack
my
bags.
husband eat?
Pack bags. Let's all go. I don't have that time for me.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much I want it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I have to wait for the kids to grow. And once they're grown, then I'm like, okay.
You're tired. You don't even have the energy to do this by yourself.
Yeah, that's the point. Now imagine someone subjecting themselves in that.
And you don't love yourself. So how do you advise these young ladies to first, find themselves, love themselves before getting into marriage? Not even young ladies, both.
Okay, the first thing that I can say is both. For me, marriage is a scam. I did it for both guys and ladies. The first thing that I tell people, discover yourself before you commit to anyone. That is very important. Know what you can take and what you can't take. Because at the end of the day, this is marriage. It's the one thing that you make a lifetime commitment to, and you're making that lifetime commitment to a stranger, no less. So it's like you're trying to, and that's when apart the first 10 to 15 years, whoa, they're the hardest. Because that time you're trying to discover yourself. After that, you're too tired to even fight with anyone. So you're just watching and taking it because
you have no choice. You already put yourself into that.
Yeah.
And you're there thinking 15 years is such a long time to let go.
That is the problem. That's another problem we go through in marriage. And that's why marriage is a scam, because you are tied, there's nothing you can do, and you didn't get into that knowing these facts. You know, when we posted this book, this cover, when the book is out now, the cover is out, people are like, no, you can't do that, God ordained. But God also hates divorce according to the Bible. And you are walking in and walking out as you wish. Yeah. But that is not something you saw. The only thing that people say is that how can marriage be a scam?
How can you say
that marriage is a scam?
And you're happily married yourself?
That's the point. It is a scam because I've gone through all those challenges and they're hectic.
I'm curious on the kind of backlash you got, considering you're happily married, and here you are telling people that marriage is a scam.
The fact that we have 20,000 followers on Facebook.
And how you dealt with the backlash
was
hard.
That was hard.
How was it? What exactly was, what comments did you get? How, share with us, how was that particular phase?
That particular phase, when I introduced the book, okay, majority of the people told me that I'm going against the Bible. Mind you, I'm a pastor's daughter. That's not the weird part. Most of them were like, but we watch you every Friday when you go live and you are happily married. Others were like, if yangu imenishinda. Kwanza, this comment was funny. The tofauti yangu na Wajakoya ni ndevu peke yake. That was the funniest comment.
What?
Yeah, others were like, you should change the title. No, that was the funny part. And you know when someone tells...
Did you ever think about changing the title?
Yeah.
Really?
I did.
Because of the backlash or because...
No, because of the backlash I did. I did think of changing the title.
If you were to change it, what would you have changed it?
People are like, is marriage a scam?
Oh.
Yeah, but then again, you know, funny enough, I thought about it twice or thrice. Then my husband was like, no, you're not changing the title. And
the first thought is always the right one.
Yeah. So when I thought of it and I was like, no, I can't change the title, I'm keeping it. That is when I felt like, okay, to be honest, this title is the best for this book.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I stuck with it. And I'm happy that, okay, for those who are reading and giving the reviews, they've seen whatever I'm talking about is the truth. Yeah.
Wow. If you could change anything about marriage right now, I know it's too wide, but if you could change anything about marriage, what would it be?
The two things that are very, very, very stressful in marriage.
Which are?
Finances is one of them, and family. Yeah.
Why? What's your reason?
My reason is most marriages end because of finances. So much. Okay, many of them. Finances, either we married when you didn't have anything, and then when you started having something, you decided, oh, now I see more beautiful women than you.
Yeah, it is said that he is with you until he gets money and now starts approaching his type.
That's the point. Now, that's one thing that I would change.
Kushikilia.
Good. And that's why when it comes to marriage as a scam, I had to make one thing clear. If you're not yourself, he's going to do that. And men are saying this for a fact. Now I make money. I need you to look good. But you're telling me to look good. At the same time, you've left me with a toddler who does not want me to look good because when I feed him, he's all over my chest with every other food. You walk in after I've fed him and then you're like, so and so at the office is so pretty than you. How dare you? But that's happening.
It is. My friend, forgive me for saying this, I will not mention her name. I have a friend who's been married for like 4 to 5 years. She recently had a baby. Her baby is roughly 6 to 7 months. And knowing her, because we've been friends for quite some years, she's never been that glamorous, glitz and glam, makeup, nice, cute dresses. She's not been that girl. She's been very collected, you know, hananga mambo mingi. She's just herself. But then recently is when her husband realized, I need you to be glamorous. I need you to style up. I need you to dress up.
Having a 6-month-old in the house, I'll tell you for a fact,
yes,
sometimes you even want to stay in your dera and be like, please,
let me be.
Let me be. Let him sleep for 2 minutes so that I can at least be.
Yeah.
Feel free. It's hard, but they push it to that. So a normal person will say, okay, this is hard for you. Let me get you a nanny so that you can rest.
And also I believe that if you want me to look nice, buy me that nice dress after work in the evening and tell me, my love, I want you to wear this dress. I'm taking you out to dinner, wear some makeup.
But now you'll find someone who will come home and they'll comment, you'll find comments of married men on social media. She wears a t-shirt when I get home.
But is that where communication also comes in marriage? You say you communicate to make things better, for it at least to not be a scam.
Yeah, communication actually is let's say the first chapter of this book. Yeah, after the glamorous wedding, you know, when they say that the more the glamorous the wedding it is,
the faster it will end.
The faster it will end, and the harder it is to run away.
Yes.
So after the wedding part, no, that is where we've covered communication. Communication is very important, but then again, we don't speak the same language. Men and women don't speak the same language at all.
Yeah.
Whatever you tell me as a man, I won't. When I reply as a woman, it's totally different. So
and
that
vice versa.
Yeah. Communication in marriages is not the same. Your thought, your words don't get into my ears the same way they got into you, the same way my words don't get into your ears.
Yes, yes.
And that is where marriages end. Because we are communicating, our language is the same, but it doesn't get...
Our understanding is different.
Our understanding is totally different. It's really different.
Yeah.
And that's when like we tend to live in marriages whereby we either don't talk to each other or we bottle things to ourselves, because even if I tell you, you won't understand.
You won't listen and understand.
You won't understand.
Let me take it back a bit. You said that young children, do we call them children? You said children are more in marriage, more children are married than adults are, yeah? That's 19 to 23.
Yes.
Do you think they're the ones that are making the narrative change, that they're making the marriage narrative look bad because you can walk in and out as you please.
Yeah, they are making it look bad. But then at the same time, I'll say that, you know, when the thing of the notion of once you're married, provide for yourself, that is making things easier for kids to feel like, since I can provide for myself,
I don't need this individual in my life.
I can just get married. Then when you get married, you're like, see, I left my parents and came to you. Now I can even leave you and go somewhere else. Who cares? No, they walk in and walk out the way they feel like because they know we have the means to. And funny enough, social media pays. And we know very well that if I work this way and I do it this way, I'll make money. So marriage is okay for me. I'm good to live in marriage at that point. But then 2 kids later, you are like, no, I can't take it. And you know, there's one thing that I always say, when it comes to kids, it's a lifetime jail. Let me call it jail because you can't run away.
Yeah.
You are there.
And 99%, no, not 99, 75% of the time, the children belong to the mother.
Yeah, that is the point. So you are there at a young age, you've subjected yourself to a situation that was not even meant for you. You are married, you have kids. That's a lifetime. You have to worry about how to raise them forever. There's nothing you can do. Now you never got to enjoy being young.
It's something
now you get to 26, where life is supposed to be starting. You're wondering, but you're in school. How will I leave you and go have fun?
You know, you're describing my life. You are practically describing my life. I like how my mother says. My mother likes to say, supposedly you will get married you live up to 100. And you want to get married at 19. Are you sure you want to sustain 81 years in marriage? What is the hurry for? That's how my mother puts it. What is the hurry for? If you will die at 100 and you're 19 right now and you want to get married, are you really sure that you want to get married for 81 years? Live your life until utosheke, and then now get married.
Because when you get married, that thing called life stops. I'll tell you this for a fact. I used to be this kind of spontaneous person. Where are you? Date. Where are you? We could do dates every day. But right now you're like, I'm also tired. I was working.
Yeah,
I can't
you
do
were
everything.
working, you have children and all that.
Yeah, but you see now the young generation believes that,
the earlier you start, the better.
It's not the earlier you start, the better. Because once you commit to that, it's a lifetime commitment that is, by the way, a bit selfish because it's lifetime. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The rest of the things you can, but that one you can't.
You can't.
So you are there. Now, because we can walk out of it, because nowadays it's easy, you're told you can walk out of it. People divorce every day.
Yes.
And they feel good doing that. But in real sense, you don't worry. And then that's why we find that these kids, nowadays we are raising kids who know that my dad is living here and my mom is living there. And it's okay, because social media has told us that co-parenting is fun.
Oh yeah. Do you think social media, as we wind up, do you think social media has played a big role in making and breaking marriages?
Yeah, it is actually one of the main reasons why marriage became a scam. Yeah, because instead of me learning
you address that in your book?
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay.
If instead of me learning in my home, like we used to, like it's an exam, you need to go start learning from your home. Now you're learning from all corners of your phone. Like I have my phone, this and this went through.
What
this
is
and
so
this.
and so saying
What
about
is so and
this,
so.
what is there?
So learning from all that makes you feel like, a man can't tell me anything, or a woman can't tell me anything, or he cheated, he was forgiven. Yeah, it's normal, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's why people are getting the information from the wrong sources in the name of it's marriage.
It's marriage.
We are learning. They have so much follow-up. They can't be lying. Yeah.
Wow. As you tell us where we can get your book, do you offer, can people come talk to you in regards to their marriage, or you?
Actually, we are live on Facebook, me and my husband, funny enough, every Friday, 9:30 p.m. We go live on Facebook. That it just started as fun, and then we realized that
it's actually helping people.
It's actually helping people. When you come there and share, we have this notion of we won't tell you to leave your spouse, but we'll tell you this one, approach it this way. That's how we go about it. Yeah, so we do our live every 9:30 on Facebook Fridays, the Wawerus on every platform. And for the book, if you buy it directly from us, we have our website, Mashats, whereby we sell the magazine too. But if you buy it directly from us, you get it cheaper, which is 1,200, but you can buy it in Jumia. Jumia is 1,500. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Where can we get you? You said the Wawerus.
The Wawerus
on all platforms.
On all
Instagram,
platforms.
Facebook, Twitter.
No, I'm not on Twitter.
So it's Instagram,
Twitter
Facebook.
is too much for me.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Okay.
Yes.
A last word of advice you would give to someone who is thinking of getting married.
Please read Marriage is a Scam before you do. Just read Marriage is a Scam. And if you are going to any wedding, attending any wedding for someone, just gift them the book. Because we are also tired of seeing so-and-so left their marriages, so-and-so was beaten, so-and-so is married again, so-and-so has left 3 kids. No, we are tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
At least now I can't throw stones. Like you said earlier, you'll be able to help us understand why we should not throw stones at you. Now I understand. Because when you walked in, I couldn't understand how you're telling me you're happily married. But then you have a book that's called Marriage is a Scam. Thank you so much.
The good thing is writing the book, I didn't do it alone, like, oh, I've written the book alone. My first editor is always the person who has married me. As he said, oh, you're going to hang me on the public.
Yeah. Wow, that is interesting. Thank you so much for your time. We've come to the end of the show. We will, personally, I will look for you. It looks like a very interesting book. As also look for Love,
the Original You. That's my first book, yeah. It's Love, the Original You is in Naivas. Well, we are hoping to stock this one in Naivas too. Yeah, very, very soon.
Wow. Congratulations as well. And thank you so much once again. We've come to the end of this launch that has been Maria Nyambane Waweru sharing with us her story and her journey. Talk to us on our social media platforms at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter, and at KUTV Kenya on Instagram. Share with us your feedback in regards to Maria's journey, and how you feel about, her book and everything that she is doing. Follow her on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Wawerus. We will be coming back after this short break.
Bila shaka, mbiu ya mgambo ikilia, kuna jambo. Na sasa, katika KUTV Rise Today, makala ya TBT. Tunaongeza kuni, tunawasha moto. Tunaingia barabarani kuangalia hali ilivyo. Takwimu za corona na kupa. Habari zinazojiri na zinazokuhusu na kujuza na kukumbusha yaliyotendeka siku kama hii ndani ya historia. Kisha na kuletea wageni na wataalam. Tudadavui, tufahamu na tuchukue nafasi yetu kama vijana katika uongozi, uchumi na masuala ya kisiasa nchini. Na joto likizidi, tunaingia uwanjani. Tunachambua spoti ya Kenya. Ni kila Alhamisi saa 1 hadi saa 4 asubuhi. Nami Vincent Maina almaarufu Ojwang mtoto wa Mariam ndani ya KUTV, a new experience.
Hello everyone, this is the new chapter of Let's Be Fit. I'll be host DiCaplo. I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have box exercise, we'll have kata box. Just the show comes every Thursday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Keep it locked, make sure we keep fit, and that's it from me to you. Let's be fit.
Technology has infiltrated many sectors, one of them being medicine. With me is Daniel Kimani, the CEO and founder of Hospital that connects healthcare providers with the underserved in the society.
So if you look at the hospital at current state is, we can say we are just starting at what we have in mind. We are building a virtual hospital for doctors. We are trying to bring that physical hospital to the doctor side, like the moment doctor enter a hospital, the moment they leave. We give you a chance to upload the reports to our platform, then assign it to a doctor. We give you the capability of personalizing a doctor. I want to be getting ex-doctor for the rest of my services.
What is this magic? I need that magic.
Somebody call 911. Panado, Sitamo, anything for your girl, give me more.
Nasema shughuli bali, den, yo.
We've been taking you through our hepatitis series, and to conclude the series, we're going to be discussing acute hepatitis, which is the inflammation of the liver that resolves within 6 months.
A patient with acute hepatitis will just feel generally fatigued and generally unwell, and this might actually be it. In fact, some patients might not feel anything at all. It could pass just as a silent infection, and this is actually what happens in most of the younger patients, the children.
For joining us, and also thank you very much for sending in your feedback. We have Ngugi Manguriu Gachacha. I can understand how 1 hour vows and a 6-hour event called wedding changes one from being a girlfriend or boyfriend to a wife or a husband immediately, and expects one to behave perfectly like a wife or husband, and yet you have zero experience. That is true. It's a lesson you learn. It's a journey. Get that book, Marriage is a Scam. I will read it and I will give you feedback after I'm done reading this book and tell you how exactly I feel about it. We are getting into the second half of the deputy presidential debate that we had yesterday, and the candidates gunning for the second most powerful seat in Kenya. Listen in to what Azimio's Martha Karua faces off with Kenya Kwanza's Rigathi Gachagua had to say when asked why they should be deputy president, how to utilize the DP's role, Roots Party, the role, the Roots Party, Chapter 6, and corruption, cost of living, and their closing remarks.
My name is Rigathi Gachagua, born and brought up in the slopes of Mount Kenya, Heriga village 57 years ago. Family is a basic unit of society and the nation. Strong families make strong nations. I'm the head of a family, and it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce my family tonight, who are here with me. My wife of 35 years, Pastor Dorcas Wanjiku Rigathi, and my firstborn son, Kevin Gachagua, a software engineer, and my secondborn son, Dr. Keith Ikino, a medical doctor, who helps me to run family business. Tonight is a defining moment for the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya are in anguish. They are in a state of helplessness. They have no food. They don't know where to get their next meal. They are devastated. They need hope. Tonight, I'll present the Kenya Kwanza plan on how we intend to turn around the economy of this country, put people where they belong, restore their dignity, put money in their pocket, and allow them to enjoy their dignity. I look forward to a very objective debate, no trivialities, issues, so that the people of Kenya have an opportunity to interrogate what we plan to do for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gachagua. Madam Martha Karua, karibu, now your 2 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you, Sophia. I was born and brought up in Kirinyaga, and I want to thank my parents who are still alive, thank God, for instilling the values of honesty, hard work, community, and respect, values that hold good to this day. In this debate and in the audience, I have my family my 2 children, Wawira and Edward, my grandchildren, 4 of them, my brothers and sisters, some of them, others are online. I represent the Azimio hope for this country. Azimio, together with Kenyans of goodwill, is out to rescue this country from the stranglehold of corruption cartels. This country can't breathe. We cannot get the services that people do require because monies intended for public service are going into the pockets of corruption cartels, who then become instant millionaires with huge bank balances. We intend to help this country, to help citizens get their country back, and all the resources of this country will be utilized for the best interest of the entire nation, not a select few. I am here to discuss those issues, and I am glad that my opponent is also talking of issues, which is what we have been calling for in our campaign. I'm able, ready, and willing.
Thank you very much, candidates, for your opening statements. Let's introduce the elephant.
I want us to move to the next topic this evening, leadership and integrity, fitness to hold office. I will begin with you, Honorable Karua. And in 2013, when you vied for presidency, you said, "I do not share any values with the Prime Minister, then Raila Odinga, nor do I share his politics. Both he and the late Kibaki have been unable to root out corruption within their ranks." What has changed now that you're deputizing him?
Indeed, the coalition government was unable to root out corruption in the second half. And I said so publicly many times. Raila Odinga was a presidential candidate in 2013. I too was a presidential candidate. My statement that they were unable to fight corruption did not indicate they are the ones individually perpetuating corruption. It meant there was corruption in government which they failed to act on. I believe that a combined ticket of Raila Odinga, Martha Karua will do the best to fight corruption. I resigned on principle because one of the things I felt let down on is the failure to tackle issues of graft. Raila was a prime minister, a co-principal, the president, the late President Kibaki was the first among equals as the president. Whatever dynamics, I do not know of. But it is recalled that shortly after that election, I worked with Raila. Na Kenya and I were friends of NASA, not NASA, of CORD. And we worked together until 2017 when I decided to run for governor and supported Jubilee. We have been able to work together, have a history of working together in our 30 years of being in active politics, and I know that his policies align with mine. I did mention that we both view our actions through the lens of social justice, and that is what has drawn me to work with him.
Just a quick 1 minute, I will add you on your time that when you said I do not share any values, you've addressed the issue of corruption and graft, but you do not share any values and even agree on his brand of politics. What do you say to that? Because values, this is...
As of that time, I felt I did not share anything with him. And remember, we were candidates. There is no way you will praise the other candidate. But I can assure you that it is not because I thought he personally was responsible for any wrongdoing, nor did I feel that President Kibaki was personally responsible. But there were rogues within government they failed to act on. And I felt mine is very clear on what it will do. Both my captain and I have repeatedly said there will be no sacred cows. Anybody involved in corruption will face the law, irrespective of who they are. As for campaigning with public resources, that's a fabrication. What I know is that every presidential candidate is entitled to security. So there will be security apparatus, whether it is the Deputy President's campaign or the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We mobilize our own meetings, using our candidates, using everybody. Anybody who attends, they attend on their own volition. Yes, there are some cabinet secretaries who have attended our meetings, but they have sometimes attended as a by the way. When they attend deliberately, it's of their own volition, and it's not because we need them to mobilize. Let nobody forget that there is no political operator who can mobilize more than the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I also personally do not need help to mobilize. I've been in this game for 30 years. When Mr. Gachagua was still a DO, I was in politics.
All right. You have a response to that? 1 minute rebuttal?
Well, I have no rejoinder for that. My request is that it's about time we move to the real issues that the people of this country need to know. What is our plan? We have talked many issues, and that is a good thing. But the people of Kenya need to know, what does Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto have for them? I'm hoping that debate will come around tonight, because it's important. Because many Kenyans are glued to the screens. They are waiting to hear. They want to know about health. They want to know about education. The public service wants to know about their issues. The police service wants to know about their issues. There are many people waiting, and I think I am guessing they must be getting information.
Honorable Gachagua, we are getting to that, and corruption is a big issue in this country, where public resources.
Corruption must be fought, and the real corruption is state capture and conflict of interest.
What is state capture?
State capture is where the people in power compete with citizens for scarce resources, where the people in power use their position to advantage themselves to get business unfairly, where people in power allocate resources to projects where they have an interest. I have an example. In the year 20, I want to tell you what is state capture and conflict of interest. This is Gazette Notice Legal number 1112, dated 26th June 2019. In the exercise of powers conferred by Section 106 of the Stamp Duty Act, the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury and Planning, on the recommendation of the Cabinet Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning, directs that the instruments executed in respect of the transactions relating to the merger of NIC, PLC, and Commercial Bank of Africa shall be exempt from the provisions of the Act. By a single signature, these two companies owned by the First family were exempted from paying 350 million. These are rich banks who have made money from domestic borrowing. They have lent money to government. They are in Fuliza. The owners are the richest people in Kenya. They were exempted from paying 350 million, money that can put up 35 level 3 hospitals in Kenya. That is conflict of interest and state capture. That is chronic corruption. It's worse than the corruption associated with public procurement.
Living, by first telling us, what is the cost of milk today?
The cost of milk, retail, the farmer sells at 42, at the supermarket, some places 120 per liter, others is 130, depending on where the supermarket is.
Kerosene?
I don't go to the supermarkets.
Okay. What is your presentation tonight on dealing with the cost of living, knowing very well that...
I want to say, I'm happy now we are where we need to be.
Audience, please maintain silence. And for the record, issues with what we've been talking about throughout. These issues impact on how we fund the projects and all of these other subsidies we'll be talking about. So there's no non-issue tonight.
What I'm saying is that I'm happy that we are discussing the high cost of living, the inability of Kenyans to buy food, because a mistake was made maliciously to deny farmers fertilizer subsidy, and as a result there was low production, and because of the law of demand and supply, you cannot afford a packet of unga. A packet of unga is 250 shillings. Government is running around because of this election now, trying to subsidize for 4 weeks, just after the elections. But they are not telling the people of Kenya how they'll buy food after the elections. This is being done to entice them to vote for Azimio. If government had done the right thing and supplemented farmers with inputs and fertilizer, they would have increased their production. You know, we consume 46 million bags of maize, and we produce about 40 million every year. We normally have a deficit of about 6, which we import. But because of this decision, we are short of almost 15 million bags, and that is what has caused the current crisis. And we have a plan. On our first month in office, we intend to bring down the cost of fertilizer from 6,700 to 2,500. That is DAP. That is the main fertilizer for planting.
Okay.
And that will enhance our farmers to produce more. So thank you very much. I want to ask the people of Kenya to give us a chance to sort them out and put money in their pocket. We want to ask the people of Kenya to give us a chance to empower the small business people by giving them affordable credit to be able to expand their businesses. I want to ask all those people with pending bills to know that in the first 90 days, we shall float a bond for 500 billion to pay all the pending bills so that their homes are not auctioned. And by action, that 500 billion, by injecting into the economy, it will spice up the economy. I want to tell the people of Kenya, by giving us a chance, we shall look at the terms of service for the public service and the police who are suffering and who need to work when they are comfortable. I want to tell the people of Kenya to give us a chance to bring reforms to the NHIF program so that every Kenyan has an NHIF card, so that when you go to hospital, you are able to be treated and go home free. I want to ask the people to know, the people of Kenya, that William Ruto and I have a plan for them. I want them to give us an opportunity to work around this economy, to spearhead the third liberation, that is to bring economic changes so that we can create wealth. We can make the people of Kenya wealthy. We can give every Kenyan an opportunity to make a living. We can give every Kenyan an opportunity to make and live a good life. We want to ask them that on the 9th of August to come and vote for change. A change to bring about economic development, a change to restore their dignity and to improve their quality of life. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you. Honorable Karua, your 2 minutes start now.
I want to remind Kenyans, this election is about trust. It's about looking to see which of the teams you can trust. We offer our track record, because even when you employ a driver, you ask them for the driving license and you want to know about their record in driving. We are asking you to critically examine the teams, and if you do so dispassionately, you will come to a conclusion. I know that Azimio is the team. We will not form commissions to fight corruption. We'll go directly for the jugular of corruption cartels, apply the law across the board, and while we agree that there is need to review salaries in view of the cost of living, it's very easy to promise heaven without fighting corruption.
And that's about it for the deputy presidential debate. That was Rigathi Gachagua and our very own Martha Karua. I don't know how convinced you are as a voter. I don't know if you feel like you are ready to make that decision. We now have enough information on how exactly to go about our decisions, make sense decisions as a voter. Thank you so much for everything, the feedback, tuning in, staying with us up until this minute. This has been Woman Crush Wednesday Rise Today. I have been your amazing host, Nina Gikunda. Thank you to the team, our camera team. They've done an amazing job, the production. Thank you so much to you as well. We wouldn't be here if it was not for you. I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Rise Today does not end here. See you tomorrow with Ojwang Mariam and on Friday with Emperor Shaker. Adios. Be good, be safe.
You be my number one controller. You're the best.